And now, Your Highness, we will discuss the location of your hidden rebel base.
You may fire when ready.
If you only knew the power of the dark side, they would be honored if you would join.
Don't worry, Arthur. We're going.
Fuzzball.
I feel the force.
Force will be with you always.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Blah Wars. We've got a very special episode today. We're doing another commentary.
I know what you're thinking. Fuck's sake. Not another one of those long-winded
It's going to be
bastards.
trivia packed because we're doing our favourite film. I think it's your favourite as well.
Pips it. It does
Yeah.
pip it.
This is The Empire Strikes Back. Thank you for joining us. We are recording this in a basement somewhere, and there's tube trains nearby, which is why you can hear the rumbling.
There's a lot of rumbling.
You might be able to pick that up on your mics, but on our mics, sorry, and your headphones. But we apologise for that. We'll do our best. We can only do what we're given, right? So we'll work with what we're given.
Yeah, and to be honest, you're getting this for free.
Yeah.
So if you're
complaining.
moaning, shut the fuck up.
Okay, should we just hit play and start the... By the way, if you want to join in with us, you can sync up your copy, although today we are using the digital version and the Fox fanfare is missing, so the sync might be off slightly. I'll tell you what, we'll say exactly when it says...
A long time ago.
A long time ago. So we're hitting play now.
There we go.
Turn up a little bit. There we go.
So yeah.
And it says, any second now, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Right, so you're all
4
synced up.
dots. That annoys me. Should be free.
You
Typographer.
said that already.
I'm going to say it for every film.
Oh,
Turn that down a little bit.
So yeah, this is my favourite movie. Now, the opening credits on this, in the original Star Wars film, it was fine. It was unique in that it didn't have the cast listed at the beginning of the film, and George Lucas kind of got away with that because the Motion Picture Association in America basically thought it wasn't going to be a successful movie, so they didn't bother doing anything about it.
What, because it was a sequel?
Well, no, the original Star Wars. And then for the sequel, for Empire Strikes Back, he wanted to keep it the same. He wanted to have opening text and all this kind of stuff. No cast mentions at the beginning. They didn't allow it. And they tried to have the film banned or blocked. And the studio would not let them do it.
No, you need to show cast
So
members.
they heavily fined Lucas $2,500. Dollars, sorry. And he paid all the fines. They even fined the director. He paid his fine. So this is a movie directed by Ivan Kershner.
He was George Lucas's teacher at uni, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
he taught Lucas everything he knew.
That's right. There's some kind of... Yeah,
Didn't
that's
retain
right.
the lessons when we got to prequel era.
Well, this is the one which George Lucas had the least involvement in. But he really kind of took a back seat, but probably because he was forced to. At the same time, his marriage was breaking down. He was falling out left, right, and centre with the producer Gary Kurtz, and he was falling out with Kershner about the direction of the movie.
But every cloud, because it's the best one.
It's the best one.
So
a lot of that is down to Kershner's insistence that the script was rewritten until the characters were more human, more humanised, because they were talking just sci-fi film bullshit through the original drafts. And the pods, here we go.
So the pods are coming out.
The special effects in this one are really ramped up as well, really beautiful.
Well,
But the
they must
human
have
performances
injected-
completely overtake the film. So
Well, they must have injected a lot more money in this one.
yeah, this was
Such a
self-financed.
success.
This was self-financed, this one. I mean, George Lucas wanted to break away from Hollywood. He wanted to try and get out of the studio system and relying on people to invest money in your pictures. He wanted to fund them himself, and he successfully did it,
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, really good model work on this. Look at that miniature.
So how did they do that then? Was it all sort of stop
puppetry.
animation?
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of stop animation. Here's the first Tauntaun, that's stop animation. You can tell in a couple of shots. There you go.
It does
it's not
look a
too
little
bad.
bit-
It's not like Ray Harryhausen, is it? Where it's all jerky.
I'll level with you, mate. It's stood the test of time.
It has, hasn't
Whereas
it?
something like the Sand Troopers in Attack of the Clones
Oh, fucking hell.
look shit.
It just looks like a video game, but because that's what the
It looks
computer
like the
is.
Teletubbies or something.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd prefer to see the Teletubbies running around Geonosis than those CGI clone troopers.
The problem with CGI is it's got no weight. You know, there's no the
it's
laws of physics do not apply to CGI. Therefore, characters that are CGI will run faster. They'll climb things faster. They don't have that. They don't have that weight that a real human being. Or
Do you think
a
they'll
real
get there?
creature
They'll get
does.
there one day, surely.
Oh, you're getting there all the time. I mean, look at Tarkin in
Rogue One.
Mental stuff we can do now.
Leia was a bit shite, but
Yeah.
apart from that, Tarkin was bang
So
on.
this scene here with the Wampa was inserted because Luke Skywalker had a car crash.
That's right.
Shortly before Empire started. He'd had
The
some
trouble-
minor surgery to try and get over it, and they were worried that people might think he looks too different, so they kind of wrote this scene in.
The trouble with that, though, is they do a full close-up on his face before he gets whacked in the face by the Wampa. So I'm going, he's still got a broken nose.
He does look quite different.
How
in
long
this
was
film.
he out in the car crash for?
I've got no idea, mate. I really don't know. Was
So-
it? I think it was a
so-
motorcycle crash. I might be getting confused with Paul McCartney now.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great. The Hoff set is enormous. I mean, this is like I think this is the James Bond stage. What later became the James Bond stage?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
At Studios, Elstree.
Enormous. Yeah.
I drove past there the other day.
Oh yeah, you did.
Took a picture of the sat nav.
Yeah,
sent it
you
over to
did.
You. You wait yourself.
So excited. I would have wanted to get.
So
in there.
the rebels have come to Hoth.
Yeah.
Why do you think they got there? It was an ice cube, and they went.
We
"You
can
know what,
dig
lads?
this out.
This will do. this will do.
It's quite a contrast, isn't it? It's quite a contrast to Yavin, and also it's quite appropriate. A chilly, cold environment, given the dark tone of the movie.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is the first movie. Bruce Bower, by the way, this guy here, General Ryken, he's a British actor, Bruce Bower, but they dubbed him with an American voice because Ivan Kershner thought that all the villains in this movie should have British accents, yeah, because of the Civil War. It goes back to the revolutionary days of America, you know, the settlers and things like that.
Sounds
Look, he's
racist.
got a packet of Strepsils on his jacket there in case he gets a sore throat.
Well, it is in the cold, so makes sense. She looks like an absolute babe.
Gorgeous. Carrie Fisher looks amazing in this film.
Yeah. She's she looks. This
Makeup's
is the best film.
amazing.
She looks.
Yeah.
She looks great in this film.
She's a lot slimmer than she was, I think, in the first Star Wars
No,
film. I
she
don't
had-
know if
she
that's.
was- She had puppy fat. She's
She was going through quite a. She's a renowned partier, and she was doing it during the making of this movie. She was having a lot of parties on work nights and whatever.
Really?
We'll talk about that more through the film, but.
yeah.
She's
Can
also-
you pick up on the scenes where the night before she was out?
Yeah, I do know one of them. But
Really?
you'll talk
Can
about it
you
later.
really tell?
Yeah. You can't really tell, but Cloud City. When they arrive at Cloud City, and
Stumbling into walls.
No, they basically her and Harrison and a few others had been at Eric Idle's house from Monty Python the night before, and they'd been up all night drinking, doing whatever.
Yeah.
And I know that Carrie did quite a lot of blow, but I can't say with any
R.I.P.
certainty about the rest of the cast. So they're in that scene. They're actually hanging over. They're still kind of drunk when they're
Really?
doing that arrival scene. That's why they're so kind of giddy and stuff.
Harrison Ford must have bloody loved that.
Oh yeah. He just left his wife. So
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it was anything goes on this particular movie. But Luke had just had a kid, so he had to sort of distance himself from
Hamill. Yeah.
yeah from all that. He just called him Luke. Sorry. I think C-3PO is used so well in this film as a comic relief, and it's exactly the right amount of comedy. It's not over the top stupidity. It's very physical. It's like slapstick. Look at the way he's reacting to having
his shoulders just dropped there. It's really, really good.
Having a hand over his mouth obviously will not stop a robot from talking, yet he doesn't
Carries
stop.
on,
He's completely
That's the
silent.
humanity bit you're talking about with
Yeah.
with Kershner bringing that in.
Yeah. I love the costumes in the base as well, all the kind of quilting and everything.
So this is your favourite film, and it's a lot of other people's
It's
favourite film.
it's probably my favourite, one of my favourite top 3 films ever, let alone
outside of
favourite
the Star Wars
film.
universe. But why do you think people class this film as their favourite Star Wars film?
It's got everything. I mean, it's got mystery, it's got suspense, it's got romance, it's got action.
Romance done well because God.
yeah, it's really done well. I mean, it's not soppy dialogue. They talk to each other like
Like
the way Han Solo, you totally believe that's what Han Solo would do.
Yeah.
That's how he would speak. He doesn't say "I love you." He says "I know." You know, we'll get to that scene later. Obviously, the way he talks to Leia, he's sort of really dirty about it. It's kind of
It's not filthy. He's not.
no. But he's saying like, "My
He's
hands are
cheeky.
dirty too."
He's
What are you
cheeky,
afraid
isn't
of? You're trembling and whatever. He's really
You're trembling.
yeah. It's fucking great. I love the dialogue in this one.
So there's Luke hanging upside down.
Yeah, and
this is a new scene, right?
one
So
of
you
the
see
few
you see
new additions. Yeah.
The one part. I mean, we say new additions. New additions are 20 years old.
I know, mate,
It's
but
mad,
I'm
isn't it?
I still consider it a new edition, I suppose. But they did this really well. I got to say, you know why? Because it's a physical man in a suit. It's not a CGI monster.
Here we go. Luke reaches out for his lightsaber, Anakin's old lightsaber,
It's the first time you see Luke physically levitating anything, right?
using the Force at all. I think.
Well,
it's kind of channeled in.
You see
So
him
do you
use the Force in Star Wars.
So do you think between this film and Star Wars,
Yeah.
is
What's
that training?
happened?
Do you think is that training?
No, not at all. But I'm assuming that he. How would you know about that, though? I guess I don't really know. There might
must
be
have
some
done.
lore in the comics.
There's got to be something in the comics, but do the old comics count as legends now or canon? I don't know.
Problem is with the new continuity, lots of things have
I
changed.
started to read the Star Wars comics, and there's a lot of. I think he meets Vader a few times, so they meet after the Death Star destruction, and they have a little rumble.
Well, I mean, Luke, this film begins right with Darth Vader aware of who Luke Skywalker is.
Yeah.
The first lines are, he's tearing the galaxy apart, searching for Luke Skywalker, obsessed with finding Luke Skywalker. So
That's right.
We must assume that at some point between this film and the last one, Darth Vader got wind of who Luke Skywalker is.
Do you think
and
at this point he knows that is?
Yeah,
his son?
it's complete. Yes, of course, absolutely, because it's his name, isn't it? But what they've done in this movie, and we'll talk about it more when the appropriate scene comes, they made some changes where they shot the new scene with the Emperor, and they changed some dialogue, and it actually doesn't make any sense, the scene. In the scene now, it appears that Darth Vader is finding out for the first time that he has a son who's alive, yet the opening crawl of the movie clearly says...
Do you think, though, in that
Darth
scene,
Vader says in the first scene, I'm sure Skywalker is with them, so he already knows Luke's there.
But do you think Vader's pulling the wool over the Emperor's eyes in that reshot scene?
No, I think it's a genuine mistake by
Well,
George
he needs to
Lucas,
stop
who
making mistakes.
is a fool. But
You really hate him.
I just lost a lot of respect for him. We've been over this before.
Yeah.
We did especially after what he did to your face, mate, when he farted in it and all those winnets went in your mouth. You coughing off a hairball.
Try not to
Fucking hell.
choke on blown water.
So this scene was, you see when Luke just collapsed in the snow, that was shot from a hotel door in Norway during a blizzard. They sent all the camera crew stayed in a lobby, and then they sent Luke out in the blizzard and shot him from afar. Yeah, it was really, really cold, mate. Those close-ups of the Tauntaun are really cool as well. All the steam, smoke coming out. It's steam, I suppose it is. It's breath, hot, foul breath. Do you know all the names of these characters?
No, but you probably do. I think that we can safely say this podcast is John talking and me chipping in every
I
now
think
and
it might be on
again. 'Cause
Empire.
This is your film.
This is my specialist subject.
We'll
Empire.
get to the prequels and I'll be all over that shit.
Yeah. Oh, I can't get over how beautiful Carrie Fisher looks.
And Chewie. Has he got a little friend parting going on? in this
He
film?
has. You mentioned that happened in Return of the Jedi, but it does happen a lot in this movie because, I don't know, just because of the way the hair's been cut on this particular version of the suit, which I'm guessing is a
I
whole
imagine
new suit.
I'd love to see a Wookiee's barber shop, what that actually looks like.
Oh, the floor covered.
Yeah.
R2's and C3PO are not very reassuring in this scene, are they?
No. Well, they're all facts and figures, no emotion. They're robots.
Yeah.
They're
They haven't got that empathy. Although he's quite sensitive. He just says the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a really sweet scene.
I mean, he's upset there that Solo's going out.
Yeah, that's right. He doesn't. Yeah,
He goes nuts
obviously
in
he's
Force
worried about.
Awakens.
He's worried about Luke as well.
Doesn't
I
he? He
suppose.
goes absolutely nuts in Force Awakens. I love that scene.
Yeah.
There we go. Ben apparates in front of them. or
Alec
Obi-Wan.
Guinness did something like 4 hours work on this movie one day and got paid a quarter of the profits. So, not bad.
Well, the thing is,
That was his deal.
he's a decent actor, though, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, once you signed up
he's
for the
very
first
important
one,
to
he
the
had-
film.
he
He,
had all
didn't
the-
want to be involved. He really didn't want to come back. They had to persuade him. It was kind of unknown all the way through the making of the movie whether he'd actually do it. So
Really?
they sort of shoehorned him in.
Bloody hell.
Right near the end, they got him to do his scenes, and they were able to superimpose those into the other shots, which they'd done in Norway.
That's good.
Leia didn't actually go. Leia doesn't appear in any of the outdoor Norway scenes yet. She did go with them. She went with the cast to have a good time, and you might see some. You can see some promo shots of her in the snow with everyone else. They've all got these blue jackets that say "Empire Strikes Back." Harrison Ford had to drive a snowplow to the set because the blizzard was so severe he couldn't get there by train.
How far away was he staying then?
I don't
I would have thought they would have picked him up. You can get that these days, would you?
Have you seen The Revenant?
No.
Well, this is based on a true story. There was a famous explorer who killed a bear after being very badly mauled by the bear, and
This is the Leonardo DiCaprio film.
yeah, that's right. He
Yeah.
cuts the bear open, scoops all the insides out, and gets inside to stay warm.
Oh, really?
And he got
And
completely
that was a
naked.
true story?
Yeah, but it's dramatised in the Revenant. That scene is.
So it's basically they've done this.
Oh, yeah.
Scene.
Yeah, apparently it's a Native American trick, survival trick.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's these films are educational. I know what to do now if I'm ever walking a dog and it gets a bit cold.
To cut it open.
Kill the dog,
Kill the
climb
dog,
inside
climb
it.
Inside it.
This
What happens if it's a tiny little Jack Russell? You have to kill 5 of them. Make a suit out of it.
I'll
Slip one up your
I
arm.
could definitely keep one part of my body warm inside it. What, my foot? I'll get a hot Cornish pasty like Ray does and put that on my foot. This guy here is he's an English actor. I've forgotten his name. Damn, but he's in Only Fools and Horses. Have you seen the one where they go after a little cottage in the middle of nowhere to do some fishing, and there's a serial killer at the door.
Is that him?
Yeah, he's a serial killer.
If you don't know what Only Fools and Horses is, it's basically an English sitcom.
Yeah.
Based in East London. And
Google it.
Google it. It's
Two brothers.
and their
granddad.
1980s through to the 90s. Good laugh.
Yeah.
Suppose you
Dodgy
only get it
dealers.
if you're English.
They're like market traders, but they most of the stuff they're selling is stolen or knocked off.
Kind of sound like me, but apart from
Yeah.
that, it's all right.
Repeat, I found them. Repeat, I found the road
So,
to road.
That is my favourite piece of music in the whole film when they're looking for him.
Yeah. Okay, I want to know who put that nappy on Luke. Was it Leia?
Huggies. It's some Huggies.
Massive pair of
I want to
Huggies.
see my brother's cock, but I'll snog him.
She doesn't know it's his brother.
Yeah, but well,
FX7, that robot
somehow
vehicle.
she always knew. So
The set here is really cool. Look, that's the. It's just like I don't know. It really feels like a hospital.
he does look battered.
Yeah,
But
good makeup. There's a missing scene where they remove this kind of like mask off his face, don't they? Have you seen that?
That's in an extra scene.
Yeah, but it was meant to be in
It's
this
like
movie.
a plastic see-through thing.
That's it.
Yeah.
Kind of like a papery death mask. Oh, look at Luke reacting to the sleazy stuff he's saying.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
For some of these scenes, Anthony Daniels, when he comes in, he's only wearing the suit from the waist up.
Yeah.
So he's got his little trainers on. He can be a bit more
really?
comfortable. Yeah, no need, is it? Because it's
Good shout. 2 hours it took him to wear that, so
Fucking hell.
whittled that down to an hour. Might as
yeah.
well.
They were always trying to improve the suit, weren't they, through the original films?
The hair annoying. Look, now he's got back slicked
Yeah,
back.
he's
Chewy.
combed. Chewie's going to comb his hair if he's going to meet Luke. Oh, well, there it
Oh,
is,
here we
mate.
go.
That's just wrong
Yeah.
in the context of things.
Incest. So.
C-3PO should know.
Well, I like it. Well, he doesn't because he had his memory
Oh, yeah,
erased.
of course.
Where's is R2 in the room?
Yeah.
Because he should be
R2's
bleeping one right out. Going, no, what are you doing? So the Bacta tank there turned red. What's that about?
I don't know. Maybe cleaning cycle. Come up to one of my favourite scenes now. Not the Probot bit, but the Star Destroyers.
I think this is probably
up.
my favourite set in the whole trilogy, the original trilogy.
It's this is the only movie which we don't actually go to Tatooine in.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, and Rogue One, I guess you could count that too.
The Force Awakens.
No, Force Awakens is. Oh no, of course it does. Of course it's
key,
not.
mate.
Sorry,
It's
in the
the
original trilogy, in the original 6, I meant. Sorry.
Oh, the original 6.
The problem is you learn facts years ago and then they become irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite sounds in Star Wars. The
Well, you put it in our opening.
Yeah, I had to sneak it in there because there's something so nostalgic about hearing that. It's just such unusual, garbled noise and.
My dad hates Chewbacca. I was having a chat with him last night with that little Rory just did there. I said to him, "What's the one thing that annoys you about Star Wars?" I thought he was going to say Jar Jar Binks, like the usual. He was like, "Oh, I hate Chewie." He spelt it Chuy. Didn't mate? I was like, "What? What's this? What's this Chewie? What's Chewie?" And then it dawned on me. Oh, he means Chewie. So what do you hate about it? He went. Oh, it sounds absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. And, he went off on a massive rant. I think he's having a breakdown about it, to be honest, but he'll get over it.
So this is my favourite, one of my favourite shots in the movie, where the Star Destroyer is going beneath the massive one.
The Interceptor.
Executor,
that's it.
With the red. Amazing.
With the red engines at the back.
Yeah. And this is the first time you also see on board a Star Destroyer as well. In
That's
the original
shot
sequence.
They used in Revenge of the Sith, right at the end. With Palpatine and Vader.
Oh, right. That was all painted. Well, most of what you're looking at there is a painting. Yeah, really clever. Ken Colley. And there's Mr. Bronson from Grange Hill, and there's the guy who drinks the wrong grail. Indiana Jones.
There's a theory that he was working for the rebels.
Yeah, this is good. So there is a theory that Admiral Ozzel is a rebel spy, and he's trying to deter Vader from exploring the Hoth system any further by saying it's smugglers. And then later on, he comes out, brings a fleet out of light speed too close to the system to warn the rebels.
Yeah.
So basically, he's doing his utmost to try and prevent them from being found.
I love that idea.
Great idea, though, isn't it?
I love that
Wonderful.
idea. I mean, it would tie in beautifully with, I don't know, the Rebels animated series as well.
Yeah. Look at this.
A few spies.
This is a really odd scene because they're all walking past a green screen here. That guy's just standing against the painting. I mean, there's nothing to see. I love these shots as well of them repairing work on the Falcon.
Just going about their day to day.
Yeah. Those models are beautiful.
I think they kind of lost that in the prequels. They're kind of losing it in the new one as well. It's just like these. Look how Luke's just picking up his clothes there off the bed. You get a little sense of living quarters.
Yeah.
I suppose you got that with Rey when she was living in that massive attack walker.
Yeah.
But you just don't get that sense.
These films these original ones are really
details.
rich for background details and bits and pieces like that. You never get to see the Falcon this close up in detail during this film. The reason is because they made the full size model of the Falcon that you can get on board and climb all over.
There's a lot of shots of the camera looking up in this film as well.
Right.
I don't know what that's about. And I've only noticed it in Empire, like that, where Solo's looking down, and even in this room here, you'll see it a little bit later on. The camera angles are from
quite
floor
low.
up. I don't know whether that's to give it some gravitas or some sort of scope, but it's an interesting camera, consistent camera use that they're using in this film.
Wow. Such impressive model
It just
work.
doesn't have the same aesthetic for me, that built Superstar Destroyer.
I like the fact it's like all kind of like a city built on a Star Destroyer.
Higgledy.
Yeah.
I wonder how long it would take you to leg it from one side of the other to the other.
I reckon it's 100 miles long or something like that. Who knows? Enormous.
I love how shiny Vader's helmet is in this one.
Oh,
That got chopped off.
Yeah, the sound of his chamber closing, by the way, is a load of prison doors all slamming shut at once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a whole row of them. So he's onto him now. Chokes him. This is the
I love
first
that
time
he
you
can
actually
choke-
see him kill somebody, right?
Really? He killed Kenobi in the last one?
Well, I mean, using the
Took out-
force.
all right,
Because
okay.
he did threaten to strangle that guy in the previous movie.
I love how he can choke him across the airway.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that theory that the ship's 100 miles long. Mm-hmm. Vader could be 50 miles away from him and can choke him 50 miles away.
Yeah.
Why didn't he do that in battle?
This is one of the scenes where Carrie was having a bad morning. If you read the production notes, she's frequently missing days because she's got a cold, probably from excessive cocaine, I expect.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She got a lot of kind of chest infections and whatever. Probably because she's just drinking all the time, smoking a lot,
Yeah.
and snorting a shitload of cocaine.
So, just going back to the guy that just
Look
got
at it!
killed,
Look at all that
the
cocaine
spy.
there. Fields of coke.
Fields of coke. She must have been in fucking heaven.
That's why she went.
Yeah.
Went on the trip.
Someone didn't tell her it was snow. But yeah, no, going back to the
I
spy
wouldn't
guy.
want
What was his,
to. I
what was
wouldn't
his
want to
name?
disrespect Carrie Fisher, the late Carrie Fisher.
No, not at all. We love Carrie Fisher.
We do.
Yeah. Yeah, going back to the rebel spy, it ties in really nicely with the Fulcrum stuff. You don't watch Rebels, do you?
No, but I knew there was a character in the Rebels
Well, there's-
cartoon which defects, right?
Well, there's a few spies, and they call them. Well, the main one, he phones in as Fulcrum,
Yeah.
but he does defect, and I wondered whether there's another Fulcrum under that guy there. That would have been incredible.
Well, it's a good theory.
So,
Probably
how
one
many
of the best
years
fan
after
theories I've
Star
ever heard.
Wars
Yeah. Is this movie set?
Is this film set?
I'm not entirely sure. I always assume it's like a year or something. Not
I'd like
too
to.
far.
I'd like to think it was a bit longer.
They've
I'd
had
like
like
to
a
think it's
lot
about
of
3
adventures
years.
and whatever. They're referring to things that have happened off camera, aren't they?
Yeah.
And he says like the bounty hunter we ran into on Ordmandale changed my mind, and it's like, okay, we don't know about that story, but maybe if they are going to make a bounty hunter film,
Yeah.
slot it between this
Yeah.
and New Hope, and maybe
Yeah.
have Darth Vader in it,
Yeah.
looking for rebel bait.
I've said
looking for
yeah
rebel
about
bait.
100 times. It just constant yes.
He just wants it. He wants
so
it.
if that's been pissing you off for the last minute,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
But
yep, it
yeah.
has. Nice little touch.
There you go. See,
Dropping the
camera
yeah.
angle up again.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this film, the success of this film is all based on the aesthetic of the low camera angles.
We forgot to mention at the time, but you see quite a lot of dead tauntauns laying around the base, and that's because they filmed scenes where the Wampa gets in, but the model was so bad
Really?
that they had to remove the scenes. You can see what it looks like. Later on, you look out for a room with a yellow warning sticker on the door.
That's right. And 3PO goes in there. Oh, no.
No,
He rips it off.
He rips it off when the stormtroopers are chasing them. Again, in a deleted scene. Stormtroopers go in. Very comically, a large furry hand comes out, grabs the guy, pulls him in. The door shuts again, and these two stormtroopers just look at each other and look back at the door. And it's a really comical moment, but unfortunately, it got cut because it just looked so, without the context of what that thing was in the door and why that was there.
Yeah.
There was no point including it.
Well, this was a massive risk, put in the massive battle.
Yeah,
At
the beginning.
at the beginning
And
of
also,
a
you know
film.
what? They were going to have a space battle, but they didn't have a space battle. They actually decided to do it on the ground. And George Lucas wanted to do it on the ground in daylight because he wanted it to be more of a challenge for the special effects people. He said shooting ships in space is easy, but I want you to shoot them in daylight, in an environment.
Yeah.
So he was quite insistent about that. His involvement in this film is quite limited, but he did end up getting involved with the film, directing a couple of scenes. He was really in control when it came to special effects.
He's renowned for pushing the special effects, though.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
You think films
Well,
would be where they were.
Ivan
without Star
Kirshner
Wars.
is not a special effects director,
No.
so he's a character director, and that really comes across in this movie. He does have a great team behind him to help achieve the stuff he just can't. He's out of his depth with.
There's a scene coming up, mate.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh every time.
Right.
So, when Luke... Oh, no. Is it Wedge? Uses his tow cable.
Yeah.
ties it around the Atat's legs, takes it down. All the men jump over the wall and just start running towards the thing.
Yeah.
What are they running towards?
Is it like a bad edit?
Well, it doesn't make any sense. It's bad edit or not. They're running towards a blown up Atat.
And then they blow it up, yeah.
But what's the point of that?
I don't know.
It's always annoyed me. Since I was about 5, I've always gone, what are they running towards? Brilliant. No one's thinking.
It's a great idea, that, though, taking them down with tow cables. And this was one of the really fun bits you could recreate with the toys.
Yeah.
Every time.
There used to be a game years ago. I used to play it on my dad's old Apple Mac. I think it was just
the Empire Strikes Back game.
No, it was X-Wing Pilot.
Oh, yeah.
And it's absolutely brilliant because I'd always just skip all the levels, go to Hoth, and take these mofos out on tow cable.
They're great.
No, this is the same. What are they running
for? Yeah, I
they
don't
blow
know.
it up. He goes, come on, and they start running.
Must be some other stuff going on. Yeah. They're going to try and get out of the base now. Look how wobbly everything is.
Yeah, there's this real sense of urgency to get out. And even
not a lot of faces from the first film in this.
No, but that emergency is elevated with those two trying to fix the bloody Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, good tension, yeah.
And it's real tension. But there's a good point. There's a good point about the faces not being in it. Who's the guy with the beard? He must have died.
Dodonna or whatever his name is, and she wasn't in this movie. She's in Rogue One, but Mon Mothma. Yeah. Just faces that you saw in the original film. A lot of them, admittedly, were killed off. Yeah, I love my Atat Walker. God,
said you sold one, didn't you? Yeah,
two.
Night Sweat selling that, mate.
Oh, never mind. And there's a first ever Scout Walker appearance, and that's all you see of it, isn't it? So Julian Glover there, he's going to be at Comic-Con. I will go and chat to him at last. I've been waiting for years to meet him.
Poster?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Because he's the guy that drinks from the wrong Holy Grail in Indiana Jones and goes all old, isn't he? So,
really? Is that the same guy? Man, this is the thing.
He's in a lot of classic Doctor Who. Over the 30 years or so it ran.
So you've got a few things for him to sign then?
Well, I will only ask him to sign the Empire poster.
How much is that going to set you back?
I've got no idea, mate. Probably about 20 quid, I expect. Yeah, he's in Game of Thrones now, so he's still doing.
Oh, really?
He's still working at his age.
So this is the thing. I'm only allowed to go and see one film a year. That's a lie. But with kids, it's difficult for me to do it. So I save that green card to go and see the new Star Wars film.
Yeah.
I'd love to go and see Wonder Woman and all of that, but just don't get a chance. I have to kind of wait for it to either come out on Netflix or DVD.
It's true. This is why I'm putting off Parenthood, mate, until cinema's been completely destroyed thanks to piracy. Luke Skywalker broke his thumb in that scene. Mark Hamill broke his thumb diving out of the Science Speeder. With the exception of one stunt in the entire movie, Luke Skywalker did all his own stunts.
Really?
Do you know what stunt I'm referring to?
So the one on Cloud City where he jumps off, that was into mattresses. So I'm assuming he did that one.
Yeah.
What else? What other dangerous things has he got?
It's the window, mate. It's this bit where he gets blown out the window.
Yeah. Was that done on like some sort of like rope? Like pulling backwards, Exorcist style.
And the same way when Luke grabs reaches for a lightsaber and it comes to his hands, that was done using reverse shot. And that has to be very carefully planned because they needed to have no smoke on the set. Otherwise, you'd see the smoke bellowing the wrong way and all this kind of stuff. So, very well planned. The stop motion on those Atats is seamless. So good. I think they shot it at a really high frame rate, so it doesn't look jerky.
I've got to say, what do you think of their legs?
What about them?
Do you think the legs look weird, like too flimsy for the weight of that mass from the side?
No, look at the way all the intricate cogs and stuff are moving.
I always just thought they looked a bit thin from the front.
I love the idea of this making a hole. I'd love to see a stormtrooper pop his face through the hole now.
So is that what's in there? A bunch of stormtroopers? Because I know in Family Guy they say it's a baby fetal Atat in there.
Oh, do they really? Yeah. I've not seen that, but no, they. That's not a great shot. The one of the head exploding because it's fade to black. But look at that. See the one in the background doing absolutely nothing. That's because they couldn't animate it and make the Atat fall over, so they had to have it stand still for a bit. If you look very closely, you can see the wires, so to speak. Love the way it puts its leg out slightly there. It shoots.
I know before the special editions they had a problem with the screens. So the windscreens of the what they call that Luke flies. The
Snowspeeder.
Snowspeeders. Sorry, guys.
There's a warning.
Oh, yeah, he rips that off.
Yeah.
The black frame around those windscreens
The matte lines.
was see-through, slightly see-through.
Yeah. And then they had this kind of very slight transparency that you could see.
They managed to colour that in.
Yeah, that's what those are the good things about these restorations, right? And then Lucasfilm revisiting stuff, or ILM
I think
rather.
that's the point. I think one of the things restoration. If you can restaurise it,
Yeah.
and make it perfect.
Yeah.
Great.
Remove scratch, remove damage,
Yeah.
remove matte lines, things like that. That's absolutely fine. I just don't agree with changing vast portions of the film. And admittedly, Empire Strikes Back is the one with the least changes.
Yeah. Well, it's
In terms
probably
of
perfection, right?
massive changes like that. There's one
Is this
particular one.
the only time we see Vader on ground, on a planet? I can't think of any other time that he's...
Endor, but he's on the
in a
landing
lift.
platform.
He's in the landing platform.
He's in an
That's-
attack or something, isn't he?
So that's it. We only ever see him... You can't really class Bespin. Can you?
Well, you can. It's just a floating city, isn't it?
Fair enough.
Lovely painting there of the. Right, I love the Falcon interior. Just on this movie, they've really gone to the next level with detail. I mean, they've made so many little compartments you can get inside, and everything just looks like you can touch it. I love this gag here. Watch, everything
Slap,
stops,
bang.
punch it. Oldest joke in the book, but it's
Punch it, you.
so effective.
Just slapping the side of the TV.
Great, like I say, subtle use of comedy in really tense moments here.
So that gun there, that
Yeah.
machine, is that... What's that, for ground combat? They never use that in space.
He's completely modified this ship, right? They never use it in space, no. But I mean, they've modified this ship they've improved weapons, they've improved the hyperdrive.
Every scenario.
Probably why it always breaks is because all the modifications are just cocked in. I always love that, the way Vader gets so close and then they escape.
He's never in a rush, Vader, is he? He just walks everywhere.
No,
I suppose he doesn't want to get
calmly
out of breath,
plods
to be
around.
honest.
Well, when Dave Prowse walked through that base, he fell straight on his face.
Did he?
Yeah, I don't have it. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a copy of that, but it's according to the books I've read.
But these commentaries
Rebel
are pretty...
transporters.
we are
Sausage
into Star
roll.
Wars. We are into our Star Wars. So
Yeah.
these commentaries are pretty serious. Well, they're not serious, but they're more serious than our Bantz versions.
Yeah.
Bantz podcast.
Don't make
So,
apologies. You wanted to get.
Well,
Empire
if you're
Strikes Back.
listening
What
to
do you want
this
me-
and you're
what want me to say?
thinking,
You want me to say,
where's the Bantz? Oh, God.
Come, fanny hair.
Big balls.
Big
fanny
balls.
hair.
Yeah, we're having a serious
Yeah,
commentary.
a serious discussion. But if you listen to this going, oh fucking hell, I want some banter. There
Yeah.
are
Better luck next time, mate.
There's 4 other podcasts available at the minute.
Yep.
More to come. Download and have a
Yeah.
listen.
I remember watching this on VHS, on my VHS copy. The scenes of R2 here were black and white. I don't know why. There was some sort of problem. Yeah.
And they just went, that'll do. Get that
I think
whack
it was
that
just
in the
one of
can.
those.
I would have been
unfortunate
pissed off
things.
if I was.
And the
See, this
scene
is
where
that shit
Vader
to me.
is
Why
talking
is
to
that
the
so good to
three holograms, that was black and white too.
Why do you like that?
Huh?
Why do you like that?
I don't. I'm just saying it was black and white, and they've
But you're
now
saying that's like
corrected that.
That's the original. You like the originals, right?
I like the originals, but I don't want all the CGI shit thrown in. That's what I'm saying. I don't mind if they want to colourize stuff. That's okay.
Now that shot there, the Falcon spinning, they're the
beautiful.
moves that he's talking about.
Yeah.
That he's referring to
Yeah.
in A New Hope. I know a few moves that
Yeah.
outmaneuver them. That's
it's
it.
just beautiful. This is like a ballet of space.
It is a ballet
battle,
in space.
mate.
You couldn't have described it any better.
I never really
It's,
understood what
it's
was
a
going on with
real
those Star
dance.
Destroyers, though, because from below they look like they're all really far apart, and then all of a sudden they're next to each other. So that never really worked, probably for me. Watch what? Best lines. I have to turn this up ever so slightly because I can't quite hear the audio, but it's okay. Anthony Daniels is hysterical in this.
I love
His little glib remarks.
I absolutely love it. How long do you think they're in space for before they get to Bespin?
A couple of days, I reckon.
You reckon?
Maybe a week. Because you don't know, they can't fly to Bespin at
So here's a
hyper
question
speed,
for you.
right?
Here's
So
a
they have to
question
go
for
at
you.
regular pace.
Of course, which is pretty slow.
There has to be enough time for Boba Fett to follow them, establish where they're going, get the Empire there ahead of them. It's a big old amount of time, and Luke has to learn. He says he's learned so much.
Well, this is the thing. Luke can't learn everything that he learns in 2 days.
No.
I don't understand the physics of hyperspace and light speed and all that, but I'd assume Luke was there for a considerable amount of time. We're talking months.
Yeah, you spoke.
It's got to be months. You can't
sure.
learn all that in weeks, mate.
Yeah, he only got the same pair of pants, though, hasn't he? So washing them in the lake.
Just like, want to put some Persil in? I'll sort you out in a little washing machine. Scrubbing it in the swamp. He must have stank.
The asteroids were. George Lucas made ILM do the asteroid sequence so many times that they really got pissed off and they put shoes and potatoes in among the asteroids.
Really?
But those have subsequently been removed now digitally and replaced. If you have sharp eyes, you can see. Look at that big painting of one there. You can notice some of the painting stuff still in this movie, but it's quite...
Chewie always looks funny there. He looks like he's got a massive Mekon head. I don't know if you're familiar with the alien Mekon. The comic. There's an old comic called Mekon.
Yeah.
And
look how close
used to call
C-3PO
Chewie
is.
Mekon head there.
Oh.
They're approaching that massive.
This shot is
so
wonderful.
Yeah. It's so
I love
big.
the idea of getting really close to a big asteroid and going right down, and it's actually like a whole planet in itself, you know?
That it does look like Play-Doh. It does look like plasticine, those walls, doesn't it?
Not really. I don't think so. Great. And this reminds me a little bit of The Force Awakens. I'd say that sequence of The Force Awakens where they escape in the Falcon is very reminiscent of this.
I've got to say, the lighting is beautiful in this. There's like these shades of blue. It's almost like moonlight dancing across their face.
The lighting is changing as well depending on where the ship is. I mean, they're shining different lights into the cockpit to make it reflect the outside better. Way better than they did. Look how dark it's got in the cockpit now. Brilliant. Really good.
I love how Solo just takes risks. He takes risk after risk after risk, and it always almost pays off.
Yeah. Look how bright blue R2 is in the background there. They've really... Cause they've done his eye a bit wrong there as well. But now he's really dark. So this is what I mean about the colour problems in these shots for some reason.
So this is the first time you've ever watched a digital version
of Star Wars?
Yeah.
No. Just saying we chose to watch this on a laptop because of where we are. We didn't have a Blu-ray player.
It's a download.
So we're watching the version bought on iTunes rather than our normal Blu-ray copies. And there's just sorry if you're slightly out of sync, but you can probably figure out where we are. You might not even be watching this in sync.
Get
with the film.
over it if you are.
Yeah. Dagobah, man. This set is absolutely gorgeous. You know, they filled it. It's obviously a mixture of paintings and real set.
Well, I love all the creatures. The one creature that I wish wasn't in there.
The little lizard goes
and the snake, the crate, not the crate dragon, the little dragon lizard, and there's a python.
Oh yeah.
And
what's wrong with that?
Well, it kind of just removed the magic of this alien world. It was creatures that I recognised.
Oh, you want it to just be all bog wings and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I can accept humans being in it.
Yeah.
But anything else from Earth, forget it.
It takes away from the realism, you say.
It's always bothered me ever so slightly.
In the concept artwork, they had these horrifying spider-type creatures that were enormous. Have you seen these? They basically, you know, the trees, the way the trees are kind of rising up the swamp by the roots, like you get in the swamps in Florida. They had this weird, really scary spider.
They're in Rebels.
They look a bit like a tree on legs, just walking around. It's really creepy, but I'm glad they didn't put those in the movie because that would have freaked the shit out of me as a kid.
It's one of those things they reuse in
they're going back to the Macquarie artwork, aren't they?
They're using the Macquarie artwork, and they used those in Rebels. So they find a new base.
That's Yavin 4.
Say again.
Yavin 4, the base.
No,
different base.
This is. I'm just trying to. I can't remember the name of it. I'm just trying to find it, but
it doesn't matter, mate.
That's a really interesting fact, though.
The swamp here, you know, the set for this, they really filled it with water, and they had so much mud and leaves and all kinds of living creatures in that water that it went stagnant really
That's
fast.
the ones, right? They're the spiders.
That's right, yeah. Dude's just showing me a little picture on his
Krykna
phone.
spiders.
Krykna spiders. Krykna. Check it out.
I can't speak for you, but I'm dyslexic, so
Difficult to pronounce that one.
yeah.
There's good a bit of comedy here where
So
Artie spits out all the
that was on
mud.
Chopper Base.
Yeah.
Spiders. So I'm loving how they're regurgitating that old artwork because it is all good stuff. I just guess there's only so much you can put in a film.
Yeah, it's true. It's and that is kind of like the closest you're going to get to getting Macquarie on board, you know.
Yeah.
Cleans him up pretty well in the other scenes.
Yeah.
Hoses him down, maybe.
I couldn't think of anything worse than that. I'd be annoyed as Luke.
What, being stuck there?
No, just covered in shit. R2, I've got to now clean the droid. I just want to get away with my mission. I've got to do admin. Clean the droid and just camp out.
Here's the only scene, the first glimpse of Darth Vader's head. And look at the way he reacts.
It always reminds me
Squinting.
of the brain from, or what, that little weird pink thing from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, Krang.
Krang,
Yeah.
yeah.
The sound of Vader's mask going on was somebody putting their hand over a vacuum.
It's intelligent
Nozzle.
stuff, isn't it? It's really intelligently designed.
And there's that real high-pitched squeak, pressure squeak. In the concept art, Vader was supposed to be able to completely remove his helmet in there and have this extra additional mask that covers only his mouth.
Yeah, I've seen
And
that.
that was
Scary, isn't
it was scary, and they didn't use it in the end.
I think they got the mystery right, the tone of the mystery, only showing so
I mean, people
much,
would
less is
assume
more.
Darth Vader was a robot or something like that from the first film. I mean, apart from the lines that Obi-Wan suggests,
Yeah,
that
yeah, I was
he
gonna
was
say,
a
yeah.
young pupil at some point. But yeah, he's a mysterious character, and then you get that little glimpse of the back of his head, and it's really hideously scarred and deformed. Take the professor in the back. That's one of my favourite lines. Not entirely stable.
Full of sarcasm. Here we go.
Ah, that's it.
Player.
Yeah. Haven't got time for anything else.
Nice cheeky little smile. Walks off. Do you think she likes him there?
Well, you're not supposed to think that. You just don't know. The only scene that she starts to sort of appreciate him maybe is when they get to Cloud City. Things have changed by then. She's more kind of in awe of him.
Forgetting him out of that hole.
Yeah. She talks to him differently from that point in the movie. Much more caring. Yeah. I love his little camp, and I love his little toolbox full of all food. Looks like a load of Twix bars.
Now, in the prequels, Yoda teaches these younglings since birth, really, almost. And I'm just going to move this up, my mic up.
Fucking hell, that's making a hell of a racket.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone. Excuse the ears. And then he says, Anakin comes along. Anakin's what, 10, 12?
Yeah.
Says, no, you're too old to start the training. Luke pops over. How old is he there? 22?
You know about that, yeah.
Way too old to start the training.
Yeah.
Fix that, George
It's
Lucas.
the only hope, mate. He's eating what looks like a stick of dynamite.
We'll get onto this, but I don't want to go into too much details here, but Ray picking things up super quickly. Do you think that's a design
we'll get onto
flaw?
that. We'll get onto that in a different film. Let's just stay on topic here. So, Frank Oz, Yoda,
Love it.
puppeteer. Originally, George Lucas wanted Jim Henson, and Jim said, "I'm sorry, too busy making the Muppet caper." So
Frank Oz
Frank Oz
got involved.
right hand man. Frank Oz used to bring Miss Piggy on the set as well to
really?
help on days where Luke was just in a weird mood or whatever. Mark Hamill, because Mark Hamill worked so hard on this movie, and when everyone else had finished, he was still there doing Dagobah scenes,
Just taking it.
still there doing fight scenes. It was going on and on and on. He worked relentlessly, and his wife had just had a baby,
Really?
and he One morning he's at the hospital. She gives birth, gets in a car straight off down the studio to work.
Well, they couldn't get the design of Yoda right, could they, at all?
Well, he based it on Stuart Freeborn's face.
He was that old guy who...
He mixed it between his own face and,
That's right.
and Albert Einstein.
And if you look at him, there he is.
Yep. Stuart Freeborn does look a lot like Yoda.
He's basically Yoda.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah. Great photo, by the way. We'll put that on Instagram later in the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
But you said the other day that people are obsessed with Yoda saying things backwards, but actually in this film and Jedi,
he's very subtle.
It's very subtle.
I know. Well, people assume that everything that Yoda says comes out backwards, but that's not necessarily the case. It's very subtly done. There is like a kind of pattern to it.
So what's Yoda playing at here? He's acting up a bit.
He's acting up in order to understand what Luke is like and to test him. The test is to see if he's patient, to see if he's wise, how he deals with the situation.
Yeah.
And
it's a great juxtaposition of personality, isn't it?
It is. And you know what? This whole act is completely now spoiled by the prequels, because if you watch them in the right order, you know who Yoda is already. So, watching this firsthand, there was not really much detail available before the film came out as to who Yoda was. And in the cinema, watching it for the first time, it would have been a reveal. It would have been a surprise that he is Yoda.
But we're never going to watch that. I mean, you can't do the prequels without Yoda.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying it's a shame now that because the prequels are made, you do lose that. You also lose the big reveal at the end of the movie, which,
there are
spoiler
times
alert,
where I think, I wish I'd never bothered with Star Wars.
the prequels basically
just,
spoil this movie.
Yeah.
That's the regardless of how they're done, the story of 1, 2, 3 spoils all the big reveals in this film.
At what point did you think the prequels have fucked this for me?
They haven't fucked the original 3 for me, but apart from where they've gone back and they've added stuff from the prequels into the original 3, like Sebulba in Return of the Jedi. But you're looking at me like you don't even...
he's in Jabba's palace,
yeah, he
isn't
is. Changing the music
It's not
unnecessarily.
Sebulba, though, is it?
the... Yeah, he's crawling on the floor. Yeah, it's Sebulba.
That's just a Doug.
No, it's Sebulba, I promise you.
Okay.
But this scene, I love this. You're seeing Leia doing she's a gifted mechanic or something.
Yeah.
She knows how to put a spaceship back together or repair whatever
There's
she's
got to be
doing.
something in Star Wars Spaceland that if you're flying these ships, you've got to have a certain amount of...
I love how pretty much all the characters in the Star Wars universe, like Rey, for example, and Finn, they understand how, I guess, like how we understand how we might be able to tinker around with a car a little bit.
Yeah.
With some understanding of what we're doing, or
And maybe
fix a
just
lawnmower.
code a website.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone seems to be able to repair spaceships.
Yeah.
Here we go, one of the blossoming romance scenes. They've got a great relationship. On-screen chemistry here.
There you go. There's another low down shot.
Yeah. That's it. And it's where it's kind of hiding as well. It's not like a clean shot. There's other objects in the way.
It's kind of like you're letting them have their private moment and you're watching from afar. I've never thought of that before.
This reminds me of Casablanca. I don't know if it's intentional.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a... with a dance. Give a damn.
That's gone with the wind.
Oh, yeah. I'm cocking my film references up.
We'll always
big
have
time.
Paris. Yeah. But look at that, really low down.
That's what I'm saying. I've never noticed it before until this viewing. Mm-hmm. When you start to analyse the shots, you really start to...
Go after a hand.
See
Moment's
these
gone.
things.
Right, love this. Watch.
Bang.
Hits the Star Destroyer.
Disappears.
Guy fades away. And this,
Nice
I remember
connecting
this
shot.
all being in black and white, this scene, on my VHS version. The picture goes... It wasn't always. It was like the picture goes really dark in a moment, but on our version here, you wouldn't see that. When Piet comes in.
Admiral Piet.
So this is we're about to see the first ever appearance of the Emperor in the original.
You say he was
films.
like a woman with
Yeah.
monkey eyes.
Yep. So originally, it was a woman with lots of prosthetics makeup on, and then they put chimpanzee eyes over the top to compose the Emperor's image, and they got this actor called Clive somebody to provide the voice. what they've done for the new films is obviously they've reshot this with Ian McDiarmid. And
I think it needed to be done. After
it does, but again, they've changed the dialogue here ever so slightly, so that the Vader's replies are the same. But
do you think it ruins it?
yeah, it does, because in this scene, Palpatine's saying to Vader, "The boy that destroyed the Death Star is Anakin Skywalker's son," and Vader says, "That's not possible."
The son of
Says,
Skywalker.
and then he
must not
says,
become a
which
Jedi.
really annoys me, "Search your feelings, Lord Vader. You will know it to be true." Which is exactly the same as what Darth Vader later says to Luke. And it's as if they didn't even. This is what the thing.
Didn't
in
even
the
bother
prequels.
to.
The prequels are full of George Lucas recycling dialogue. Like he must be senile. He's like forgot. I've actually used that all.
Yeah, but he calls it the poetry thing, doesn't he?
I call him a cunt. You stupid twat. It's no poetry. It's lazy fucking writing. You're not Larry Kasdan, George. You fucking idiot.
But I'll tell you what. In these commentaries, there's always a moment where John I can see his little eyes there. They're getting angry. He's smiling about it now, but there's a real genuine hate for the man.
I love the Yoda set here. And I love the way, look, if you look very carefully in the background in the next shot, you can just see R2-D2 peeking through the window. He's there. See? They're adorable. Look at all the stuff in his house, though. He's got like all these little cute little bowls, the kind of the ones you get in Muji. Wooden bowls. Look at the snakes everywhere. It's such a cool set. And you know the bit where Luke bangs his head?
Yeah.
Ivan Kershner made him do that 16 times before he was happy with the take. Because obviously, if somebody says to you, bang your head.
What a wanker.
You're doing it, preparing to bang. You're expecting it. So I guess you've got to get Mark Hamill in the frame of mind where he really does not care and he completely forgets the fact he's going to bang his head. You've got to do it naturally, right?
So psychological.
Yeah, and he does a great performance.
Well, what I like about this is, again, there's a real personal sort of scene for Yoda. This is inside his hut.
Yeah.
And I know you hate the prequels. You never get to see that. You lose that personal connection with Yoda.
Yeah, true.
In the prequels. But this is it's like you say, beautifully shot. It's really intimate.
I wouldn't mind living in there, really, if it was a little tiny bit bigger. It's cosy, isn't it? Quite like it. So, Frank Oz is underneath the studio floor. They built the Dagobah set about 5 foot off the ground or something like that. And then they had him underneath with his little holes where he could control Yoda's puppet. And he couldn't actually hear much of what's going on, so there was like a radio earpiece. That's why Luke's covering his ears with his hair, so that he can hear.
I've always wondered what that hairstyle was about.
Yeah. So he can hear Frank Oz and communicate the lines back and forth.
You can see the tape on the side of his cheek there, John.
Can you?
Yeah. If you look now. Oh, if it doesn't have a zoom in.
The original, if you can get the original takes of this as well, and you can hear Frank's voice.
There you go. Oh, they've moved it. They've moved it.
You will be like that. They've gone and do it again, darker. You will be. You will be.
You will be.
Do it darker. You will be. That's all. Frank Oz gets the luxury of re-recording all his lines in post-production, syncing them up with the lips of the character.
I guess Hamill needed someone to. And do you know what?
Look at his ears bobbling around. It's so fucking. The puppet is so expressive.
It is brilliant. But Hamill makes this work
because he believes totally believes
that Yoda is real.
Yeah.
Now, if he didn't do that, this film would have died.
Yeah, totally.
It would have died.
You forget you're
Everything
watching
gets pinned on Hamill's performance.
Yeah. Remarkable. The scenes where he's in his back as well, and he's like looking over his shoulder. Talk back. RT's gone now.
RT's like, well, I can't go in. I'll just rust outside in the rain.
Yeah. Well, he tells him to stay here and watch the camp, and RT disobeys him and goes and he's curious. He wants to have a look what's going on.
You
really
will
cool.
be.
You will be. Really funny if you go and make sure you watch Yoda's song. Rocking and rolling down.
I've seen that, yeah.
Hilarious. Seagulls or something like that. Stop it now.
My sister sent me that.
Yeah, it's absolutely insanely funny.
She's been sulking.
So this is where the film starts to slow. But briefly, I mean, it's only for a couple of minutes.
You kind of need it to catch your breath.
You do. It's a pauser. It's sort of the bit
with the Minox.
Yeah. And yet they start to do sort of like suspense now, creepiness. Like what's going on outside. Luke's in a creepy place.
They're
there
disgusting things, man. They're like
Minox,
sticky anuses.
milk coming out their mouth and whatever. Moment to Secret Cinema, I found an identical pair of goggles to that, and I was like,
Did
great,
you?
Absolutely must have those. Yeah. Yes, and I got there, everyone else was
Have
wearing
you got
them as
pictures
well.
of your costume?
You've got one photo,
Oh,
yeah.
I'll whack that up on the Instagram. I'd love to see that.
That's good, I will do. My ex is in it, though, but
Well, I can
she won't
Photoshop her
mind.
out if you want.
Yeah. Will crop me. She won't mind. We're on good terms. Yeah. Look how I think you can just about see there's loads of tarps on the floor there,
Oh, yeah.
with the smoke underneath.
We're just immersed in the film.
Sorry, yeah, we're just staring at it now. Because in any second now, you get I love the little breathing apparatus they got as well. Just really simple.
Yep.
Yeah, really.
Minox.
The Minox, for example, obviously it's going to look like a weird puppet on a stick, so you don't really show them. You just show glimpses of them.
Yeah, your imagination fills the rest in.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
In a minute when they all fly past, it's like you don't have to see them. You just have to see their wings. That's great. The wings look like they're made of like skin. They're really.
But now you're getting full-blown, detailed CGI ball creature things, and
yeah, but they look
Force Awakens,
fake.
which is
They don't
just
look
didn't
quite
need to be
real.
there.
I'm sorry, but they don't need to be there. No. In fairness, though, Force Awakens delivered so much on the prosthetic level,
No, it did.
the unnecessary detail, and what I noticed they did do a lot of in the Force Awakens. They got a prosthetic creature and then they slightly CGI'd the face just to give it a bit more expression. Like, for example, the one that's played Onkar Plutt, that's played by Simon Pegg. His elements of his face are CGI, but
I didn't.
not really.
I felt like it could have just done without that.
Yeah, it didn't need to, in my opinion. But it's just. I guess they just wanted perfection.
How much for the droid?
This is no cave.
I love how they're just
How
running
could you
around.
think it's a cave when you
The
look at it
teeth
from
make
that
me laugh.
perspective?
I love the teeth are perfectly round at the
Yeah.
end. They've been look at them.
Oh, they're pretty good. It does look like a monster. What did you say its name was?
Space Slug, was it?
The question was, what was its name? In one of our earlier podcasts,
Oh, yeah.
and I didn't know the answer. I said Space Slug, and you were like, no, it's called so-and-so. It's like,
Yeah, well, I was reading that
what the
off of some geeky.
didn't see his
web
name
form.
badge. Don't know about you, mate.
No, I didn't see that.
These bits are good
Wearing a
too.
big
And
old
what
sock.
can Luke possibly learn from this? Is it just to be fit? Is it
I think it's
to
just to be fit,
Okay.
yeah.
Feel the force. Use the force as your ally as you're running.
I suppose you're just using
Yoda
the
has a
Force
lot of
to elevate-
lines here where he explains the nature of the force. He says the dark side flows easily. It's quick to join you in a fight.
Well, this is the
This
thing.
is where all the lore about the force comes from.
Yeah.
These Dagobah scenes.
But
they've
it doesn't
governed
go
everything
into
else.
stupid detail like
No.
the science of it.
No,
Like,
doesn't need to.
you know,
Don't say the word.
medical.
No, don't fucking say that word.
You love it.
That's not welcome in here.
But you don't need it.
Don't bring that filth into
Oh,
this
mate,
podcast,
I can't wait
mate.
till we get to the prequels because this is going to be a laughter track.
Quick to join you in a fight. They flow. When you're calm and peace. Look at the way, look at him. The
Why do you
emotion
think
on that
that-
face. So
Why,
good.
why do you think?
No, there is no why.
Why do you think Yoda and Obi-Wan split up?
were they ever in a relationship? I didn't know about that.
yeah. Divorce settlement.
I think because it didn't happen, it's in the prequels, so irrelevant. What you mean? They go? Why
didn't
are they
they-
hanging around together?
Yeah.
Because one of them's dead.
No, before, like it just. Forget
No,
it.
because Obi-Wan's there to look after Luke. He's watching
I know,
Luke,
but if
right?
They both did it, and just I know.
You'd think Obi-Wan would be easy to find, but
This
That
cave
case.
thing's interesting. I might have mentioned this on another podcast.
but remember the whole Obi-Wan, the reason why he's there, the reason why Yoda's here, that lore, the setup for that was written after these films.
Oh no,
it was as a
I
backstory,
know.
right? They went
Yeah.
back and had to write that because they did not plan it all at first. So therefore, they've tried to marry it up. But the real original reason, who knows? That was in Larry Kasdan's mind.
Yeah.
So we can always ask
It's
him.
always
Maybe we can get him on the
retrospectively.
podcast one day.
Yeah.
I just want to say, mate, I'll cry and stuff. Just want to say you're the best. Him and Robert Zemeckis, I'd love to meet them both.
So this cave, this false cave, it's, so the canon.
Oh, the background for this. Go on, dude. Go on then.
The canon is, no, I don't know whether it's canon, but according to some theories that I've watched and read, is that there was a Jedi being chased by a Sith Lord. They crash land. They crash land right outside this cave. They have a big old fight. The Jedi gets disillusioned. The Sith is using all these mind controls on the Jedi. The Jedi flicks his lightsaber, cuts him, devastatingly so, and he kills him, and he seeps into the floor, seeps into the cave, and then haunts it
Right.
for the rest of the time. That's probably a little bit of background knowledge that you hate, isn't it? If it's
Don't
not,
really mind it. It's not too bad.
I prefer that than seeing a bloody snake hanging off the tree.
This place, I prefer to keep this place as a mystery. I like that so many things in Star Wars aren't explained.
I like how it's
And
kind of architecture.
that's why fan kind of theory annoys me sometimes.
Yeah.
This is really spooky the first time you watch it. And Vader looks terrifying.
Well, the first time I watched this, I thought Yoda's set him up.
Right.
I thought Yoda's
trick.
tricked him.
Yeah.
Yoda's in league with Vader.
Well, he says your weapons, you will not need them, right? So if Luke had gone in there without a weapon, what would have happened?
Well, it's because it's all in his mind.
Right, okay.
So
So he's gone in there afraid with his weapons.
With his weapon, and this is the result of it.
This is the result.
If he'd gone in there without his weapon and trusted himself, this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. And as a kid, when the helmet explodes here, I didn't realise the face was Luke's.
No?
Just it didn't really look familiar to me. I think it's because you're seeing Luke in
When
a weird...
did you realise? Like when you was a little bit older.
I remember watching it with a friend, and he said, "Why do you think Luke's head's in there?" I said, "Oh, that's Luke's head." And I realised, oh yeah, it is.
You think
It's the mole
watching
on
this
his,
at
on
the
his lip.
cinema, that was a bit of a giveaway for Darth Vader being Luke's dad?
Yeah, that's kind of it is a subtle little, it's a kind of foretelling of that, isn't it, as well? This film's the first kind of, they mention the dark side very briefly in the first movie, but in this movie they really explore it and the nature of it. Oh my god, this is my favourite scene.
Of the whole film?
Yes, this is my favourite scene.
So
It's so brief.
We've got the
It's
bounty
like-
hunters
yeah.
standing on the bridge.
I mean, they barely do anything, but this is like a bit which
Doctor
you
Who.
recreate with your toys
Yeah.
all the time. Because you can
Still
get all
do
of
it.
them. Yeah, still do it. You can get all of them and just line them all up and have Darth Vader.
That one there is where
Zuckus.
it looks like he can do anything.
Yeah. Look at IG-88, just stands there, turns his head. No disintegrations, right? I love that line because it's as if they've worked together in the past.
Yeah.
This is why I'm talking about the Bounty Hunter film. He's previously fucked up and Vader's been
It's
disappointed.
clearly gonna happen, isn't it?
I sent you to get that person, you fucking
It's
disintegrated him.
clearly going to happen.
Yeah, it's got to say no disintegration. I want
Yeah.
them to explain what is that all about.
Yeah. Oh, it's like the Han Solo film. There's clearly going to be some, when Lando goes, "You got a lot of guts coming here."
After what you pulled.
Yeah,
Yeah, obviously. They're going
that's
to get
gonna
all
be
the nuggets of
story.
information from the original 3 and they're going to try and write backstories for every single reference. There'll be a lot to cover in that movie, but
I love how sarcastic
I'm not
she's
looking
just
forward
being.
to it, I've got to say.
Death staring him in the face, and she's just like, "You're shit, mate."
No light speed?
She's clearly given up. She's just sitting there, relaxed, waiting to
I
die.
mean, how many times does the light speed fail in this movie? 4 or 5 times?
Yeah.
Even at the end when they're about to escape, still doesn't fucking
They
work.
needed R2, didn't they?
Yeah. This is a really clever scene. Parks themselves on the back of it. It's like, wow. Great idea. Apology accepted.
So I'm just immersed in the film. I haven't seen this film for a good...
I did watch it the other week, but watching this film every day would be a pleasure. Just every fucking
Really?
shot.
Because you
of this
said that about
movie
Star
is-
Wars. You couldn't stand watching it for a third time.
we had to watch it 3 times in 1 week once, didn't we? And it was it's just a harder film to watch. You know, there's lots of silent moments in that movie, and there's lots of sort of
because there's
the first 40 minutes is very slow.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Plodding around the desert and all this kind of stuff. This movie, we're in the lull bit now, but there's this wonderful little kind of.
I think it is a lull bit. I think you're fascinated by that.
No, I didn't mean that negatively. I meant that's the bit where the movie kind of calms down. Now you're seeing all this wonderful stuff of Luke with these abilities, stacking rocks. It's beautiful. He performs impossible tasks with Yoda. He you understand how impatient Luke is.
So the X-Wing's just sinking there.
Yeah, Luke gets distracted by the concentrate. Yeah, and this is where like Luke's doubt
starts to seep in,
and he thinks he's wasting his time here. What's he fucking doing in the mud? We'll never get it out now. And he says, "So certain are you." There's so much wisdom in this one scene now. The stuff Yoda says. I mean, you could take it forward and put it in your own life. It's life advice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do or do not. There is no try.
It's true.
That is one of the best, positive attitude statements ever. I know it's not necessarily true, but I love the idea of that. If someone says, I'll give it a try, or we'll try that later, I'll say, no, do or do not. There is no try.
It's true.
You're either going to do something and fail, or you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
That's a great way to look at life.
You're going to win the World Cup, or you're not going to win the World Cup.
That's dialogue, right, that George Lucas could not write. Lee Brackett is also credited, by the way, as the writer of the script on this movie, and it should point out here, Lee Brackett did write the original draft for Empire Strikes Back. The dialogue was really bad. George Lucas has a copy, you can see it in books, where he's gone through and written no, he's crossed out great big things, he's circled stuff, change this. He hated it. Darth Vader said lines like, "Damn it, I want the coordinates, man," and things like this. Like, it's hysterical. Maybe one episode we'll read the original script. We'll read the original. Anyway,
coordinates, man. He'd never say man like 1970s hippie.
The coordinates, man. The coordinates. So that's what Darth Vader said, and then it was all scribbled through. No. Yeah. So she was going to repair the draft, and she very sadly and untimely suddenly died of cancer.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And it's a kind of sign of respect.
They credited
She remains credited because she did, lay down the foundations for the movie.
Yeah.
The basic stuff was there. So I guess Kasdan comes along and he just really, you want to see the original George Lucas's treatment of Empire, and then all this scene here. Yoda waffling on for ages and ages and ages, and Larry Kasdan just gets all these paragraphs, completely cuts them up, and just reduces it down to 2 or 3 sentences that say so much more.
It's a real skill.
Yeah. But he wrote the script to Raise the Lost Ark as well, which is one of those all-time amazing films. Maybe one day in the future we should dig out the scripts and we should read them out.
Let's do that, yeah.
Just do a little teleplay of the original version.
A play of the original Empire Strikes Back, and we give each other's little character, we dress up.
It'd be hilarious, mate, because it's just so funny. It's some of the stuff that...
So there's Luke having a sulk.
Yeah.
We're all a little bit like Luke
get an idea of how
sometimes.
huge this set is. I mean, the swamp, right? I mentioned it briefly earlier. The swamp was real. That water was... disgusting, and it stank. Have you ever smelled stagnant water? Ever been paintballing? Yeah, it smells like vomit. The whole place stank of it, and they had to have the wrap-up party on that set.
Oh god!
And everyone's just having to stand around eating hors d'oeuvres.
little thing that I've just noticed there. When Luke tried to bring the X-wing out, he was exhausted afterwards, slumped down, out of breath.
Yeah, he sweats and everything,
and deliberately done so because look at. With the ease Yoda, how tiny he is, and he's just doing it with so much ease.
Judge me by my size, do you?
There you go. Yeah. And I think they needed to do that to just.
Look, Yoda's gone up there. He's climbed up on that little tree to do it.
He probably did a flip, one of those flips that he does off camera.
The scenes where Yoda's seen in full body walking, he's played by Deep Roy, who plays the Oompa Loompas in the new version of Willy Wonka, whatever it's called. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
He's in loads of things, actually.
Yeah.
I couldn't list them all. Neverending Story is the guy that rides a slug. He's got a top hat on.
Really?
Yeah, that's the guy.
He'll
be at Comic Con as well. Maybe I'll get him to sign my Empire poster. Perfect.
Do it.
Yeah.
You've basically got the alternative Empire poster with all the sort of background characters, all the
people
extras.
that didn't really want to.
If a main character
love
signed
how
it,
they've
it'd
dressed
be
that
like,
X-wing there with all the reeds and stuff. That is why you fail. What a fantastic line! I don't believe it.
That's why you fail.
I don't believe it. That is why you fail. I don't like believe it.
Listening to that back's going to be weird.
People really gave Rogue One a little bit of a hard time where Darth Vader does the "be careful not to choke on your aspirations" line. But this film is full of sarcasm. Vader's so sarcastic.
Yeah.
Apology accepted, Captain Needa.
Yeah, all of that.
We'll be honoured if you can join us. That kind of stuff. It's just
Yeah.
he's got a really dark sense of humour. He loves
yeah.
he loves a bit of sarcasm. He's so scary in this
I
film.
love how all
Vader
the other
is
officers
terrifying
don't give
in
a
this
shit
movie.
that their mate's just been killed.
That guy there just staring into the abyss.
Shits himself.
Yeah. Piet's really, near the end of the movie, you think he's going to be murdered.
He just goes around killing people in this out of pure frustration.
Darth Vader just comes across really powerful and terrifying in this movie. And that theme, the Empire, the Imperial March, let's face it, it is Darth Vader's theme. It's not the theme
they
for the Empire.
They saved the best music for this film.
Well, yeah. This is the thing. The whole score gets expanded upon. You've got the love theme for Han and Leia. You've got Yoda's theme.
It's my favourite.
And you've
It's
got
my
the Imperial
favourite
March.
album.
Oh yeah, mine too. And especially the end music, which we use at the end of our podcast episodes, of course. But there's a medley at the end over the credits, and it's just the most fantastic.
We should do
celebration.
We should do a sort of a top 10 favourite themes.
Yeah, we will definitely. We'll definitely dedicate an episode to the music of Star Wars, and we can actually include the tracks I expect as well.
Here we go. So it's flicking through, trying to find a system.
Look at the way this is lit compared to the original film. The way the blue lights are lighting up their faces and whatever. You would not have got that in the original movie.
Look at the angle of the camera. It's on a 45 degree
slant
because you're on the side of the ship.
Yeah,
and it's those subtle
well
details
observed.
of
Look,
that.
C-3PO just slopping to the side there.
You can see Anthony Daniels breathing.
Yeah, you can actually. You can, dude. That's well observed, mate. He's just there puffing away. Fucking hell! I've never noticed that before.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't spoiled it for me.
There you go. And then
here we go.
They get released, so the camera angles go back. It's really well done.
Beautifully done. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this idea, the way they float away with all this rubbish.
There was Slave 1 in the original, or is that additional? It's additional, isn't it?
No, it was in the original film.
You just don't get that close
there's
up.
one CGI shot of it flying past the camera. You can totally tell.
You don't get the
so that's
close
old.
up of his helmet, do you?
That's old. Yeah, you do get the close up. That's old. And then this new shot here coming up is CGI. CGI Falcon, CGI rubbish,
Slave
everything
1.
CGI. It looks like it's from the prequels. And then this is back to the old film.
Got you.
Yeah. I mean, without that shot, you wouldn't understand what's going on.
No.
Why is some rubbish following them through space?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a really cool Dagobah playset you could get where you could stand Luke on his head and then you could levitate all these little boxes. It's like Yoda's house as well. No, it's a tree, so it's a cave. So it's a lovely little
Like
set.
magnets or something.
No, little kind of like pegs that you stand the figures on, and you turn all these gears and stuff, and things wobble about. There was even a bit of swamp that was made of foam. You could poke R2-D2 through it, but of course it disintegrates. So if you can get your hands on that in mint condition, which is unlikely, it's worth quite a lot of money. Leia, this is cool. Now, so we learn now that a very obvious model shot of Yoda just then.
His head turns.
Yeah. We learn here that you can use the Force to see the future.
Yeah.
And
the past.
Wow, and the past, yeah.
You can use your memory.
Yeah. Old friends long gone. All this kind of stuff. Great. Because we learn that Luke has been being watched by Yoda for years, because he says, this one I've watched a long time all his life, as he looked away into the horizon, to the sunset.
I always assumed that he was talking about his dad.
No, he said this one. And it's a direct reference to Luke staring at the sun on Tatooine, isn't it?
Okay.
Because that's what Luke did. Every day he kind of comes out, looks into the sun, wishes he could leave the planet.
That's incredible, because I always imagined that he was talking about Anakin Skywalker, had the same sort of
ambition,
problems.
He didn't really, did he? In the prequels, they didn't really do that. But then that's one of the reasons why the prequels are fucked, because the characters are not developed enough to have those desires, and you don't root for the characters in the prequels like you do in this. You don't feel for them. Hello.
Cloud City has just been redone beautifully. I'm sorry, this is an addition that I love. I think the depth of colour.
Well, they've improved on the colour, definitely.
The scale and the landscape.
What they've done is they've added a lot of CGI shots of them flying through the city, but the original matte paintings are still in place. And what they've done in a couple of scenes is, and you can tell because the actors have got blurs around them now, but where they were walking down a white corridor, they've removed the white wall and they've put like a window and a view of the city there. Some work, some don't. But this is the movie with the least changes, as I mentioned earlier. You can just about see the cloud pod pilots. There's a lovely sweeping score, this, isn't it? So what is the point of this, of Bespin? They mine gas, do they?
They mine gas, yeah.
From the planet and sell it. So it looks like Coruscant now. I'm sorry, but
it's just a bunch of people downstairs farting on toilets. They're just mining methane.
So this is a scene where the night before, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, possibly some others, have been at Eric Idle's house and having all manner of fun. And
he looks knackered.
Yeah.
It probably helps.
And they,
it probably helps with the scene.
But they have this kind of they have this kind of giddy. Well, when they meet Lando, and it's very kind of merry. That's cool. See, my friend. And we put it on Instagram the other day, but there's this next shot of them walking along the walkway to meet Lando is a matte painting, and it's just incredible piece of work.
Incredible, yeah,
absolutely incredible.
There's
After
me.
what you pulled, referring to Lobot's cock. Yeah, you're in the background.
I'm in the background.
With your headphones on. How you doing?
How you doing, you pirates? So good to see you. She does look knackered.
Yeah. What you done on my ship? Hey. How you doing, you bastard? Going around with this bump.
We should just do a podcast of me just throwing names out and you trying to do impressions of them. I'll just like Yoda, Lando, Vader.
2 minutes, 200 impressions or something like that.
Yeah.
1 a second. Actually, there's not even that many seconds in 2 minutes. But oh, you old smoothie! I love this. Hello, he shakes his hand, not even interested.
Checking out her ass.
Well, really?
So it's just the bit where they're just knackered and slipping
Yeah.
all over the shit.
I mean, I've recorded this again. What's Lobot doing there then? He's gone back a bit.
What is Lobot? He's like some sort
cyborg.
of cyborg thing. Did he opt into that, or was that forced upon him?
Presumably he decided to have bionic implants put in his head. That actor, I forget his name, but he has been in a lot of sci-fi films and especially Doctor Who, Blake 7, anything made in the UK really. You get the impression they are quite good friends.
Yeah.
But they've not stayed in touch for years.
We've got friends like that.
Ichuta.
Ichuta.
I always wondered who says, "Who are you?" I thought it was Boba Fett.
Who are you?
It doesn't sound like Boba Fett, because if it was, they would have changed it to the new actor, the New Zealand voice. Please don't get up. There's always, the whole tone changes now.
I always think, I kind of feel like it's a stormtrooper.
Right.
It doesn't sound like a traditional stormtrooper.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It could be Dengar, I suppose. It could be another one of the bounty hunters.
There's got to be something on that.
Yeah.
There's got to be.
Now, when they say, obviously, no, there is another, which is the scene coming up.
Here
In
we
the
go.
context of
Here we go.
things,
Here we go.
It could be that he's referring to Ray.
Well, Ray's aged very, very well.
What are you talking about?
Well,
No, because he can see the future.
okay, good point.
I'm saying he knows that at some point in the future there will be another person with all these wonderful abilities. But that boy is our only hope.
It's a bit of a
there's
paradox
But
there.
obviously they are referring to... You know, they wrote that. No, there is another, but they had no idea who they were referring to.
They just thought we'd make it up.
Yeah, they're planting a seed for a future Jedi.
Okay.
They were thinking of bringing another Jedi into the third movie, but then they decided, and I don't think it was the best decision, that Leia is Luke's
You
sister.
don't?
No, I think it was a bad move.
Okay.
I've got quite a lot of complaints about Jedi.
We'll get there.
But you know what the problem with Jedi is?
Go on.
Well, we can talk about this more in when we talk Jedi, but the problem is you had quite an inexperienced director working with George Lucas, and George Lucas this time around was having none of it, and he was just totally taking control of the film and taking it in weird directions, and nobody was standing up to him.
Really?
And that's why you got so many weird stuff in Jedi that people didn't like.
I'm not massive.
That's why it's a mixed film. Some
The
things are
Ewoks.
beautifully dark, some things are just silly. But we'll
We'll
go
get
into that.
Yeah. Well, it does open up the question who the
who
hell's
the other
Ray?
is. Where's his ladder gone?
He used the Force and just flicked it off.
He's like, see? I can use the Force.
Yeah. That's all the argumentation I need to fight Vader.
Obi-Wan, you listen. What is that, a flare? That thing stuck on the...
I thought it was like an eyesight, sort of a
scope?
telescope.
I love the way that Ben fades away and doesn't come back when the light comes back on. No, there is another. Really cool,
man.
exciting line.
I mean, he's clearly referring to Leia. But
Yes.
I'd love it if it wasn't. I'd love it if it
It'd be
wasn't.
cool
We are
if they
going to wet
mentioned-
ourselves.
If
When
they
we do
mentioned
this,
that in The Last Jedi, so
When-
Yoda always spoke about another.
No.
But no, he says that in the next movie, doesn't he? Although he spoke of your sister.
oh yeah, of course.
So it's kind of like they've already ruined that setup. There's
We're
no way of
getting
salvaging
excited.
it.
We're getting excited.
They've changed Leia's outfit here. She's got a lovely like gown thing on now.
Nice
and her
brown-
hair's
brown number.
Yeah, her hair's wonderful in this scene.
I imagine her just doing that. Like, I've got nothing to do. I'm just going to...
Well, yeah, they probably pampered them, right? Gave them this lovely accommodation, and how long are they here for?
She surely must be known across the galaxy as, as the Princess of Alderaan.
That's a good point. Yeah, she
So,
should
like,
be known.
she's-
She's royalty.
Like, who
to
have
me,
we
she's
here?
royalty.
So Lando clearly doesn't know who she is.
Yeah, that's true. Very good. But then he's kind of, you get the impression that he wants to stay away from that sort of thing. He doesn't want the Empire involved in his
No.
little business thing. Right. In this room, the junk room, look, you can see that bounty hunter from earlier there.
Oh, yeah.
And you can also see IG-88.
Well, that's the white version.
White version, yeah, but it's the same. They've obviously reused the props.
Do you think IG-88 is a one-off bounty hunter in that model of droid? Or do you think they're made to be bounty hunters?
In Rogue One, one of Jin's many little toys that are homemade, presumably by her
Is
father.
IG-88.
Yeah, there's a character called Iggy, and it's not the singer, but it's
Yeah.
yeah. They really made a fucking number on 3PO. It's amazing all his parts are even there. No thanks. Hey, hey, princess, fancy a fuck?
Straight out of it. No chat up line. Just straight out the door. Fancy fiddle.
Oh, the way that her hand's like taking her hand now. Get your hands off her. I'm taking her.
Should we leave her in?
You said I'll be able to keep the princess myself. I am altering the deal.
What are those weird little old men
Argonauts,
called?
so they're called, or something like that. Look, the security guards there, best bin security guards. There's a lot of detail here in the background. A lot of extras just walking past. It's cool. Those guys having a little chat.
With a helmet.
Yeah. There's
The
Lobot again.
background,
What's
that
he doing
lift
there?
is needed. If you watch the originals without that CGI,
I know.
it looks cack.
It does look a bit dead. Right, so Chewie senses something's wrong here.
He's looking for,
And this is, he says, I've just made a deal to keep the Emperor out of here forever, or the Empire out of here forever. This is amazing. He can deflect bullets with his hands. And that is the only time that Darth Vader directly addresses Han Solo
Really?
in the films, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry too. So what do you think the next scene was? They all sat down and had like a bread roll.
Cup of tea,
Yeah.
discussed some negotiations.
So
it
Vader's
broke
like,
down.
there's like a little bit of silence. He's going,
Well, Vader does sit down there, doesn't he?
hell of a good match,
He
wasn't it?
passes an orange over the table.
Yeah. Just squashes it into his mouthpiece and it all kind of, all juice goes in.
Puts a little straw through his
Plays
mouth.
harmonica. Oh. What is that noise for? It's just some sort of, maybe they put
Maybe
it,
it's like a
they've-
torture noise.
maybe I suppose it's possible
Someone-
they've locked him in some sort of a
Like someone clearly part their speed.
industrial
or they-
area where they have like work alarms going off and sirens and things going off all the time.
Someone's car got broken into.
Yeah.
One of
So
those
this reminds me of alas, poor Yorick. I knew him well, Shakespeare.
Hmm.
Yeah. The skull.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
I
of
think
course,
it's
yeah.
supposed to be a reference to that. I don't know. Could just be a complete coincidence.
So when,
It's cool that
so how
Chewie can
did
do
they-
this as well. Chewie being a big furry thing.
with hardly any dexterity.
Yeah, and not. We didn't know he had fingers until
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
With the detonators.
Yeah, you can see that he's.
I love
He's
how he
able
puts
to
the head
fix
on
anything.
backwards and it still works.
Yeah.
Clearly done so when he uses him as a backpack.
Very good. Yeah, so we can still see where he's
yeah.
going. Yeah. Ah, this is interesting. The point of this isn't to question him. The point of this scene is to make Han and Leia in so much pain
Yeah.
that Luke comes as
Yeah.
a rescue. So Vader must know that Luke's somewhere. I love the way they look at each other. They don't say anything.
What do you think that blonde little ponytail is on Boba Fett's shoulder there?
I imagine,
Couple of
I imagine
Padawan.
it's kind of like the tail of something that he's killed.
I'd like to think of it as a Jedi Padawan's. John's rolling his eyes. The mention of the prequels, he hates it. He hates it.
Being treated unfairly. He's got a lot of guts, hasn't he, to stand up to Vader like that.
Wasn't he? He was on some sort of American dancing show recently.
Hey, Billy D. Williams?
Yeah.
Really? No, I
Yeah.
didn't see that.
He's
getting on a bit
He was
now.
on like Strictly Come Dancing, but in America,
Right.
Dancing with the Stars, whatever it's called down
Right.
there. Don't think he did very well.
Again, comedy in the least likely of places there.
He does look absolutely screwed, doesn't he?
Yeah, good acting from Harrison here. I feel terrible.
I'd say just a heavy night of
He
drinking.
roughed up his hair before we went
Yeah.
into the room. That looks really comfortable, that slab of metal. Get used
Lay
to that,
down-
mate.
lay down.
Better get used to
Yeah,
that.
yeah. You have
Based
another
what's
one on top
coming
of
up.
you.
Yeah.
Sessions.
Why they take away Leia's dress?
Too sexy for Vader.
Yeah,
Vader's like,
yeah,
you're not
yeah.
wearing that.
Such a strange thing to do. Now they're coming back.
Lando.
Wonder what he said to him. Skywalker.
That's Johnny's having a mental breakdown. Luke.
Lord Vader. Looks real good, my friend. It's quite violent, this one. I mean, there's a lot of punching and stuff. I suppose that's quite tame.
Swashbuckling.
Yeah. I guess a lot of family films will have a lot of punch-ups in them.
Yeah.
Nothing really brutal, is there? It's not like Indiana Jones level.
No.
Violent. There's quite a lot in this film that would not classify it for you nowadays.
You don't think?
You know, there's a lot of peril. People get strangled. Luke Skywalker gets hand cut off.
Was this a you when it first came out?
Yeah, of course it was. But then I think it's because they didn't have the PG certificate back then. They had very limited choices, didn't they? It was
Harrison
either
Ford
a
wanted
family film
Solo
or
to
it was
die.
an X.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harrison Ford wanted to be written out, to be sacrificed here.
Why? Why was that?
He thought he'd sacrifice himself to save the others, but that's the kind of best thing Han Solo could do. He's a rogue and he gives his own life to protect his friends. It's a complete turnaround of what he started out like, starting out as this selfish smuggler.
Now, it's not CGI, but the special effects here, again, in the daytime, with that cloud. It's probably one of my favourite. I love that shot. Because
this is cool.
You think it's nighttime here,
Yeah,
but it's daytime.
Yeah.
It kind of gives you a sense of how much time, again, has gone past.
that's right. The carbon freezing thing is really cool as well. I mean, this set is amazing. You can't see the edges. You can't really tell how big it is. It just seems to be all these kind of corridors going off to nowhere.
Steps that Vader's. See that corridor right back
Yeah.
there?
That isn't a corridor, though, is it? It's like some sort of... It's like the back of on a plane where everything gets really, really small.
Oh, well, like in Willy Wonka.
Yeah, like that.
Factory.
Yeah. But look at the colouring and the way
Orange and blue.
Yeah, orange and blue, loads of smoke. It looks like nothing you've seen in the other Star Wars movie. Feels well ahead of its time. Right.
There's no
Weird
music.
look between Vader and Leia there for no reason. It's like she senses something and he's looking at her and she's looking at him. They have a moment between them.
It's funny how Vader
Why?
and Leia spent a lot of time chin-wagging in the last one.
Yep. In this film, there's a real sense of fear with Vader.
Fuck off.
Ruining the best line of the movie. I know you're referencing Family Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that line, they did so many takes. It was I love you too, or I love you too, and it just wasn't working. And
I know.
Harrison Ford was arguing with the director and stuff, and then finally he just, on the spot, I know.
Yeah, it
They
makes
kept
sense,
it.
doesn't it?
Yeah. Probably objected at first, and they kept it. And we were talking about sounds in Star Wars, but the sound of the crisping of the carbonite and the weird like bird song.
Yeah.
Oh God, orgasmic! I love it. Love that.
John's currently sitting there.
Yeah.
Wet
In fact,
dreaming.
mate, get my cock out. Why not?
I'll
Get it out.
Whilst you're getting that out, I'll get my magnifying glass out.
Oh, yeah. You'll need that
Telescope.
to look at your one. Listen. Fucking awesome. You get to hear it again in the next movie.
I love how it clunks down. It's a
Yeah.
big...
Slab. No bounce. Just slab down. Oh, that's awesome. What a great idea. Try it yourself next time you're in the metal workshop.
slab down.
lay your mate in a load of sand, pour a load of molten metal over his face.
He'll survive.
Yeah. I saw it in a film. It's got to work. It's cool. A little line like that from C-3PO to explain what's going on. Nice touch.
Lando's just staring at the face.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you can clearly see they've got an old bond, an old friendship.
Yeah. I love that. The Empire will compensate you if he dies. Like, regardless of what happens,
Doesn't care.
Well, yeah, we'll pay you. It's cool. Vader's very loyal to the bounty hunter. He's very professional. Like, he's betraying the fuck out of Lando here. He's taking advantage. He's changing the deal. He's not keeping his side of the bargain. But with the bounty hunter, it's like a real respect. It's a mutual respect.
Well, I wonder whether there's a life debt somewhere along the lines there. Maybe Fett saved his life and disintegrated whoever it was.
I love the way that Lobot's eyes move exactly on cue with the music there. But it's obviously, it could be intentional, I suppose, or it's just a coincidence. What a beautiful prop! I would love that in my house.
You can get a fridge version of the carbonite.
I bet you can. Customised, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that! It's a great effect. I don't even know how they did that.
Yeah.
Looking at it now, that we're referring to the carbonite slab floating.
Yeah.
Looks incredible.
What do you think of that art on the windows?
Oh, it's
It's very 70s, isn't it?
a little bit, but I mean,
It looks like something out of Mad
Bespin
Men.
is a beautiful set. It's got so many nice. Yes, it is a load of corridors. It's a bit like Doctor Who. The old they used to have a block of corridor and they'd film it from all different sides, angles to make it look like it was way more than it was.
Yeah.
Running up and down the same stretch of corridor. And there's a lot of that going on here, admittedly.
He's got a little iPhone there. iWatch.
iWatch, yeah.
I'd like to
It's
have a
a-
Lobot. I love how
I'd love
Lobot
to be
went to
able,
shut
mate,
down.
to text you on my wrist and then like for your eyes just to light up like that.
You do that anyway when I'm asleep.
I have this habit of like texting Jude at like 4 a.m. when I wake
God.
up suddenly. Oh, by the way, the guy who's got Leia, the Imperial officer, is Jeremy Bullock, the guy who plays Boba Fett.
Yeah, played Boba Fett.
There he is there.
You signed your poster, right?
Yes, he has.
Good man.
He's also in Rogue One. He plays the guy who Vader tells to prepare a boarding party.
Really?
I don't know if he's supposed to play I don't know if it's the same character,
Right.
but it is the same actor.
Amazing.
Obviously, he doesn't look that different, to be quite honest. I guess it's cool if it was the same character.
Dramatic.
They've set this up quite well because Vader said, make sure he comes in here, and they've done just that. Oh, mate, we're about to see one of the finest moments of film history.
It is. It really is.
This is such a big improvement on the first fight.
Again, no music.
Yeah,
Pure drama.
it's used very, very subtly. So was Vader just holding his breath then?
Must have been. He's just
Unless
holding
he's
on
got
to
a
the
volume
railing.
thing where he can turn down the sound of his breathing.
You'd think so.
He does that again later in the fight sequence when Luke's tiptoeing through like a corridor.
He's got a lot of guts just walking up to him like that.
Yeah,
Extension.
very confident.
Do you think Vader recognises his lightsaber there? The blue one?
Wow, that's interesting, isn't it?
I love how arrogant he is, one-handed.
Yeah.
Just one-handed lightsaber fighting.
Well, Lucas said that these lightsabers are heavy. They're supposed to be held by 2 hands.
He's doing it there.
Yeah. So Bob Anderson's playing Vader in these shots here.
Now, do you think Vader's just toying with him? He's
yeah,
clearly
testing
toying.
the water.
He's just like
one-handed.
dipping his big toe in.
That's a bit clumsy,
That
Vader.
was rubbish from him.
There's Jeremy Bullock again. You get a better shot at him now. A very famous face on British television. If you've watched a lot of old 70s and 80s stuff, you'll keep seeing him as guest stars.
Lobot always felt a little bit Star Trek to me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It could be
He
the
fe-
broad resemblance to Picard, though.
He felt a little bit out of place.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But,
he does look like the way he's dressed as well. Does look like he's walked off some sort of Star Trek Next Generation.
it's I can forgive it because it's
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Just trying to help.
If he'd just listened to him, they would have got him.
Yeah, they would have because he's like legging it down the road.
And
Down the
Chewbacca
road?
was kicking himself for
Yeah.
months after that.
What he should have done is when he's going around collecting all the guns off the guards,
Yeah.
he's saying there's still a chance to save hand. We've got to go
Yeah,
now, otherwise we won't get it. And then Chewie may not have strangled him.
They changed the accents there.
Yeah,
What do you
they
think
did.
of that?
I was annoyed because it basically means this is what I mean about a prequel change.
The
a
accent of
change from the
Boba Fett, though, if
prequel.
you're
Yeah.
listening. So it's the
In the original film, I'll
Zealand
do an
accent.
impression. It was as you wish. It was this kind of. It was actually the woman. I think it was the woman for the voice of E.T.
right.
Is that might be wrong?
E.T.
I'm almost
from
sure it was the woman who did the voice of E.T. As you wish, or the girl from The Exorcist, or something like that. So, but now they've replaced it with this South African or New Zealand guy.
No, it's a New Zealand guy. Yeah,
Okay.
can't remember his name. The guy that played Jango Fett in episode 2.
But Captain Stilu in the Gabo.
No, that's South African.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Potato.
Potato. Put Catatola in the Tago house.
As you wish. Yeah, he's a clone basically. How do you feel about that?
Huh?
Yeah,
He's a clone?
He's not a clone,
That's
but it's
fucking
a
bullshit.
slowed
Nah,
down
fuck
clone.
that, fuck that. Rubbish. Rubbish. I like to think that Boba Fett wears that mask because he's horrifically damaged and scarred beneath it, or he's the most dashing, handsome rogue ever.
Probably is.
The ladies like him, don't they? In Jabba's palace in those new scenes.
They do.
So,
Yeah, he gives the Twi'lek a little nod.
yeah.
Had a bit of slap and tickle the night before.
A little bit more than that. Yeah, later on.
All too easy.
And he goes in a massive sand minge.
Sand anus.
Yeah. That's great. The jump there's pretty
Yeah.
cool. You do see that in the prequel, but it's a lot more ridiculous. Most impressive. Great. Smoke in the
thinking.
face. Lovely. Look at that. We're saying, look at that on an audio podcast.
He says there, Obi-Wan's taught you well.
Yep.
Do you think he knows that Obi-Wan's gone over, he's crossed over to be one with the Force?
Yeah, probably. Because he saw him vanish before his eyes, didn't he? So,
I guess so.
yeah, it could be. Oh, it's just so much more intense, isn't it? Ah!
He's doing well. He's doing well.
Yeah, Luke's doing quite well here.
I kind of just feel, since the events of Rogue One, where Vader was kicking absolute arse. Granted, he was just up against people without the Force.
Granted, that hasn't happened at this point in time.
No, just canon.
Yeah, but what do you expect? They can't do these kind of slowed down fights in this day and age. People expect more because of the ridiculous expectations set by the prequels.
Do you think they'll ever remake all of Star Wars?
Oh, I'm sure in 100 years or something like that, yes.
Yeah, probably.
And they'll do it in the right order,
VR.
probably. Yeah.
So that's the corridor that Rey is in a flashback.
Yeah, and there was going to be a scene where
Force
she
Awakens.
sees them fighting from a distance.
They took it out,
from a
did they?
third point. Well, they didn't even shoot it.
That would have just been complete fan service.
I reckon the corridor was probably developed by the people that did the Star Wars Battlefront game. It's so photographic, it's really close. This bit's great, and here's where Vader is using the Force to attack Luke. And Yoda says, the Force is used for knowledge of events, never for attack.
He's talking from a Jedi's perspective, though,
Yeah.
right?
But I mean, that is also not always the case. In
So that's a stunt.
there
Luke.
are Star Wars films where that's disobeyed. Like Luke going into the Jabba's palace and choking the pig people. That's using the Force for attack, right?
It's true, yeah. But you kind of wonder whether Luke's, he's dressed in black. Mm-hmm. And there's
Yeah.
like a correlation between...
There's a reason for
Yeah.
it. Yeah. He's tempted by the dark
Yeah.
side. His father's Darth Vader, for fuck's sake. It's going to cause some psychological damage.
Yeah. I mean, what else could have Luke done in that situation?
Right, so why does R2 think this is some sort of computer? Why doesn't he understand it's a power terminal?
We all make mistakes. I wouldn't say he's only human, but he's only a droid.
The shots there of the CGI insets of the people of the city. It does look like it belongs to a different film. But
I kind of feel you need it.
Got to give across a scale, because before it used to just be those people running around corridors going, "Oh," and this
like that.
basically. Yeah,
You need
used to be
you
that.
need that scale.
This looks very Star Trekky.
He's got
I
an
reckon
ice
it's what
cream
it's going to
cone.
be like in a new movie. Gonna look
Ice
like
cream
something
maker,
like
isn't it? He's just running around with the ice cream maker.
Now this is a computer terminal. Let's open the door, you stupid lump! Why don't they throw their grenades?
Oh yeah, they've got those.
That's what those tube
detonators,
things
yeah.
were on their back, by the way, guys. We did ask in the previous episode, what are the tube things on the stormtroopers' back above their asses? And
If you're going to put a grenade anywhere,
a thermal detonator.
Yeah, thermal detonator anywhere, just above the arse.
Yeah. Where you're least likely to sit down and
yeah.
detonate it by mistake. Good smoke screen there.
That's a matte painting as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's the same
shot.
one. Yeah.
The way those work is you basically paint them on glass and then you overlay that over the cell, and then you have this section that's left exposed for the film to be played through behind. Really fucking cool.
I mean, even if she walked across there and, just chilled out about the whole thing,
Yeah.
the stormtroopers wouldn't have hit her.
No.
Like, I don't think I've ever seen them hit anything. Do they shoot anything in the films?
No.
They shoot a few-
Leia gets shot in the next film.
Oh, yeah.
The cool thing, this is what I mean about the Vader here, silent, is able to stop his breathing sound. And just jumps out. And he's huge, he's towering over Luke in these scenes.
There's people wondering whether we killed the podcast earlier
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
We're really quiet.
Yeah. The computer should have turned itself off. Look how tall he looks from that angle. I guess it's shooting from below.
Really pleased when I was a kid watching
Amazing.
these at how
Yeah.
blue and red the lightsabers were compared to
Oh, yeah.
A New Hope. Really pleased. You are beaten.
That looks so modern, that shot. I mean, Vader there, it looks like it was made for Rogue One or something.
Again, it's another low angle
Excellent.
shot looking up.
Lighting. Gets a hit to the shoulder here. That's actually Vader's real arm.
Do you think he's just flailing his lightsaber out in hands
Desperately.
off? Now we don't see that lightsaber again for another 3 films.
Yeah.
2 films. You can see where the wind's blown. You can see his helmet wobbling, or is it his chest plate wobbling? Something's wobbling. Looks quite flimsy.
Well, it's the actor talking the lines, isn't it?
no,
'cause
but
this is Dave
look
Prowse
at
now.
look at his flimsy helmet. It starts to wobble on top of his head.
Really?
Yeah, it might be his breastplate.
The mask was a lot more sturdy than that.
Hang on.
Oh, we're literally waiting for in silence for something. This is not good.
No.
The revelation here, well, we know Dave Prowse was not told what Darth Vader's saying. He said Dave Prowse was told to say the lines, "Obi-Wan killed your father."
Yeah.
Mark Hamill said, "Don't react to that. React to Darth Vader is your father."
So Mark Hamill knew.
Yeah, Mark Hamill knew, Ivan Kirsten knew, George Lucas knew, Larry Kasdan knew, James Earl Jones, obviously.
Yeah, he
They
knew.
kept there's it was wobbling there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kept under super tight wraps because Dave Prowse
Big
was
mouth.
fucking with respect to the guy, he's a very friendly, chatty guy, and he's not really prepared for journalists being nosy and asking clever questions.
Yeah.
You accidentally give stuff away.
Yeah.
Journalists want to know this stuff. So it was under lock and key, and that was what started a very bad relationship between him and George Lucas, which is to this
Is that
day.
why he used to go blabbing that Obi-Wan killed Luke's father?
Yeah, and stuff like this. So, Dave Prowse is not welcome at any official Star Wars events, which is pathetic to this day, given that George Lucas is no longer involved with those.
Yeah. That was probably in the contract when he signed it over to Disney. So
In
here's 4
30
billion
years we have,
and no Dave Prowse at any events.
Now, this is cool because when he drops down, if you look, you see his hand fall and his lightsaber. Watch. Off they go.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Now, so that's fallen out of a separate thing, but that's it. So that's where the lightsaber
I always thought
ends
that was
up.
his.
No, that's
gun.
his hand and
Oh
lightsaber.
my god!
mate.
I've just seen something for the first time.
Yeah.
In Star Wars.
So that's where the lightsaber gets left, presumably on the planet that is Bespin.
I just thought it was a big gas planet.
Is it all gas? It must have some kind of
Rocky base.
rocky base. Yeah, the core of it. But anyway, it's down there.
Maz Kanata
is down there.
She's just doing a yoga
gardening,
class or
and
something.
that fucking falls in her garden. She's like, this will come in handy someday in the future. I'll just put it in a little chest and bung it in my little castle on another planet.
Yeah. What a story.
And someone asked me about that.
I'd love that as a
it's a good
flashback.
story for another time.
If they were to do a flashback and ruin Star Wars for everyone, that would be it.
Yeah, this is cool. So this is the first time Luke telepathically communicates over the Force. And it's also the first suggestion that Leia is Force sensitive.
Yeah.
Really cool. We've got to go back. I know where he is.
Her eyes in this film,
Yeah.
man.
She's very pale in this film.
I like how Lando's just gone, forget society, forget that I'm in charge of this place. I'm just going to let it die in the hands of Vader.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a runner on
He's
the Millennium
literally,
Falcon.
yeah, completely fled. Be interesting to see how they're going to bring him into the new movies because I'm sure he'll be back.
Mm.
I'm 100% sure he'll be back. Probably on that casino planet in the new one.
Just in the background.
No, but he'll have a couple of
sticks
lines and whatever, but he'll be in charge or something. He's probably on the run or in hiding because of the First Order.
DJ's probably his mate.
Yeah. There's a reason why it's called DJ apparently. So I'm
really?
thinking was two things. Either he does loads of music or something. Fucking hell. Or he's Dark Jedi or some stupid reason
or
like
he's
that.
just called Darren Jones.
Yeah.
Dave Jones.
Dave Jones. It's a David Bowie tribute. Yeah. Excellent. This is cool. I always love this. I wish that this had been on the actual Millennium Falcon toy. You could open the top there and pop people out.
Good shot though, isn't it?
Yeah, really cool. Really well done. Well, beautifully lit as well.
Yeah.
Lit internally. And it's like he's literally rising out into what looks like sunset. I don't know how they lit that so
I never
beautifully.
get bored of Empire. Never get bored of
visually, it's so
Look how
stunning.
dark the clouds are there.
Yeah.
You get a real sense of danger and death and destruction.
You know when you're on the train home, you see the sunset like that, and it's like, best bin.
Yeah.
Right at the end of Empire Strikes Back.
Every
It takes-
sunset's Bespin
Also,
to me.
they left Bespin landing pad ages ago. They're still flying through the clouds.
Yeah.
And then Leia says we've got to go back. How long has it been? Right, this scene here of Vader's shuttle landing, this is obviously added in 1997. This is leftover footage from Return of the Jedi. And if you look extra carefully...
Oh, yeah. So this is Death Star.
This is Death Star. Look who's at the front of the line. It's the officer from Return of the Jedi. The one that meets Vader at the beginning. Keep watching. He's standing there. Lord Vader,
yeah.
we are honoured by your presence. That guy.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Did they use that in...
They didn't use that in Return of the Jedi. So they put that back in 1997, yeah, because they needed to buffer the film out a little bit more. They needed to give it some more. That's one of my earliest memories of Star Wars as well. Leia going, Star Destroyer. I don't know why. I just remember seeing that when I was very, very young.
I've got to say, your knowledge on this film is unbelievable, mate. It's really
it's
good.
my favourite one.
So people listening to this must be loving it. Must be
I
absolutely
hope
loving
it's
it.
more
I mean, you've educated
entertaining
me.
than the last one.
Well, you've educated me, mate.
Yeah.
Big time.
How he's thrown.
I haven't really been much of a participant in this.
That's
I'm
all right.
holding on to
You've
prequels,
been-
mate.
You have. Yeah, you're going to really fucking... You're going to have to carry me through those, mate, because I really don't know that much about them, and I'm really not that fucked
How many
with it.
times have you seen them?
I've probably seen them each no more than 3 or 4 times.
Bloody hell.
Each.
I've seen them.
Given that they're now quite old.
Yeah,
it's not
few
very-
hundred, I'd
Given
say,
that
for
Star
me.
Wars is my fucking life.
I've got to say, I think Episode 1 is...
The best one.
No, I love it.
Yeah, there's things I hate about it, and there is some things I tolerate about it, but we'll get into that when we
Yeah.
get to episode 1. It's a blasphemy to be talking about that piece of shit. Watching
During
this piece
Empire.
of marvellous filmmaking.
I mean, it really is an oil painting, this film.
Yeah,
I think that's how
I
people
love how
describe it.
close.
It's a beautiful oil
they
painting.
go in towards the Star Destroyer. Why? Why are they flying right into the
Well, I'd say
the guts of it?
to get to it so the Star Destroyer can't shoot at them, and to maybe
Right.
pick off a
maybe.
few TIE fighters
Yeah.
along the way.
Do you like the way that they just do that
fade.
fade cut between them? It's like a slow fade between the two of the two faces. Nice. They should
He
have done
calls
that.
him father
between-
there, doesn't he?
Yeah,
He's
he
got
does.
real acceptance.
He says father straight away. Yeah. And he's just going, Ben, why didn't you tell me? Ben, why didn't you tell me? It's like, yeah, why didn't you fucking tell him? You know why? Because they didn't. They made it up as they went along. Basically,
That's how you make stories, kids.
that's the biggest problem with the original Star Wars film, isn't it? The where they took the films later didn't match up with what Obi-Wan said, so they have to do this whole "I told you the truth from a certain point of view" stuff. Cool, Luke looks proper beaten up there.
Yeah, he does.
He looks worse than the previous thing where he's laying in the bed and he's all like pale. Oh, it's so exciting.
Tractor beam.
Yeah, so they've deactivated the hyperdrive on the main Falcon. The Empire have. They've been messing around with it. R2 is aware of that because he's already learned about that from the computer.
Look how blurry 3PO's in the background.
Out of focus. That's a great shot.
They didn't put any coordinates in there. They could just be...
Fly right through a star.
Yeah. You'll think he's going to turn around and kill him, but he doesn't.
But he doesn't. He's like he's had enough. He's just absolutely...
Well, you get
He's
to see...
accepted they've got away yet again.
There's a
and
slight
Piet gets to
element
live.
of humanity there.
There is.
From Vader, which is great.
There's something more at stake. He's disappointed, and there'll be another time. And I love these shots. These shots were added. So that the film actually ended on the shot of them looking out into space, and then they showed the film at the end, and they said. They did a screening and they said we need to go back and add just a couple more seconds of footage. Can we have more shots of the ships? So they did this lovely ending shot, which we see in a moment, of
Why is he wearing
fleet.
Han Solo's clothes?
oh, he hasn't got any clothes. Maybe he's going to pretend to be
Luke
Han
could have
Solo
given
as
him
part of
some.
the act. Yeah. And that's the dress she's wearing from the first film.
Oh, yeah. I've never noticed that before either.
I don't know what you're talking about. This
great.
model hand is amazing. Just so cool.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that. And he just fastens his wrist up. It does look a little bit weird. The skin on the wrist doesn't look quite right, but
To be honest,
Apart
it's
from
amazing
that,
tech.
incredible. It's just that's one of the most exciting little details in this movie. It's full of those little beautiful moments like that. Look how shiny U3PO
Is that the galaxy in the distance? Is that sort of... They've
I
gone
don't know. It's
right
like a
outside of
milky-
the...
I don't know, mate. Someone get a photo of it. Maybe we save us looking for Luke Skywalker in the 7th one.
Yeah. I love it. He's
Reflection
always
in the door
shiny.
there, yeah.
He's always shiny. At the end of each film, they give him a polish. He's got a silver leg
I mean,
on.
that ship they're on, the frigate. This is there we go. This is like a big hospital in space, isn't it? Oh, in the widescreen you can now see so many more ships. Look at that weird one there above
Yeah.
it. Like two great big pods. Fucking
There
hell,
we
what
go.
an amazing shot.
Great film. Enjoyed watching that with you, mate.
Yeah, that was fucking
I've got to
excellent.
say, your knowledge, if you ever go on Mastermind, this should be your specialist
Yeah,
subject.
this movie I've read about so much. I've watched so many like interviews about it and commentaries, and I love it. And I've got to say, director of this, Ivan Keshner, did an incredible job.
Yeah.
George Lucas was right to hire him and to take a bit of a back seat on this one. I know it wasn't the smoothest production, but everybody just put 110% into that film, didn't they?
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
The acting, the puppetry,
Yep.
the special effects.
Frank Oz was put up for a Academy Award as a supporting actor, but basically they weren't going to do it because it's a puppet. So George Lucas tried to pioneer some kind of award for Frank Oz for that as his gratitude for doing such an amazing job. But thank you very much for joining us for this Empire Strikes Back commentary.
Return of the Jedi next.
Yeah. If you've enjoyed it, let us know what you thought. We really should have said this at the beginning, but please do. We really need a bit of help with our iTunes. If you've got like a few seconds spare, just go onto iTunes and write a review for us on our podcast. That would really help.
5-star.
Because there's a lot of podcasts out there. We want to try and reach as many people as we can, and one of the ways we can do that is just by getting a little bit higher in the search results on iTunes. We don't want to get to the fucking top, but it'd be nice to be on page 1 rather than
it'd be
page
nice to
3
know
or
we're
whatever.
talking to at least 20 listeners, not just one.
You'll be glad to know the figures are a lot higher than that. Thanks.
That's good.
It's good that we're getting nice feedback about this, and I know these episodes, these commentary ones, are quite long. We don't really expect everyone to get to the end, but if you do, like Jez did the other week, maybe put down write. I'll tell you what you can write.
Say this time.
Just put Cisco, CISCO, on the comments. That's a code word.
Cisco.
So put Cisco, and then we'll give you a shout out.
Sweet.
All right, give you a plug. So join us next week. We're going to be back with another episode, an exciting banter episode.
Show.
And we'll get round to the other films when we get round to them.
Awesome.
Jude, cheers for coming, mate.
No worries, mate.
May the force be with you guys.